his debut, Jarno Uppbeat wins at Spa.
It's Martinez in Montreal. David beats Goliath.
It's a true underdog story. John Evans wins at Mexico.
And it's Super Sam Corby who takes the PlayStation Championship.
FRA Ronhard takes his first WOR Championship. He is your Xbox champion.
And Jake Benham is a two-time WOR champion.
Stop it! Around the outside operated line shadow is contact again. Ronhard is around.
Bethany, surely is going to win here at Abu Dhabi. He does.
16 races across 5 continents. From Brazil to Belgium and Bahrain to Britain. Soon this story starts. Across 3 platforms, hundreds will begin the quest. The quest in search of glory and the right to be called a WOR champion. Lights out, and we're racing in Season 12. Good evening everyone, and welcome along to another episode of the WOR F1 season here tonight on PC. It's about to be a cracking race here at Imola. Ginger Andy here, I'm joined by Dan Field for tonight's action after Danny Beresney took the victory in the opening race last time out at Spa. But we're here at the classic Italian circuit in Imola, Dan. A fantastic Grand Prix circuit. You know, it was good to have Formula 1 coming back here a few years ago, and it's good to see it still on the calendar, isn't it?
Yeah, I really do love this circuit. It's very challenging for these drivers, and I do struggle myself to get a clean lap around here. Of course, it does offer a lot of twists and turns, and of course in the real Formula 1 season it was a site of probably one of the first proper controversies of the 2021 season with the turn 1 collision between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. So really this circuit can produce special things. Yeah,
it sure can. It almost lit the touch paper, didn't it, in that World Championship battle. Let's see if that is the case here tonight in round 2 in WOR. Will the touch paper be lit in the championship battle again here tonight? Let's have a look then at the driver standings. Why don't we do that while we wait for the drivers to load in? And it is Danny Beresney on top after that victory last time out at Spa. Sam Corby, though, what a result, coming home in second in from the back row of the grid, I believe it was. Thoughts on that one, Dan? Incredible.
Starting 19th out of 20 cars, and he just nailed it perfectly. The only driver in at that race to do 1 stop, and it was really something special. Everyone was just confused with the strategy, and he really did nail it to perfection. Then he took the fight to Danny Beresney, but of course could not secure the victory. Danny took that win, but he did really well to defend the likes of Josh Adowu, who got his penalty removed. He finished in 3rd, and Shanaka Clay as well. So you really do have to give credit to him.
Yeah, absolutely incredible result. Almost at one point we thought Sam Corby was going to make a move and pass Danny Beresney, but he couldn't quite manage it. And Danny Beresney really showed his class with a couple of laps to go, stretched out the gap, and Sam Corby was unable to reel him back in. But yeah, Josh Adowu in 3rd, Shanaka Clay 4th, Ruben Pedreño ended the race 5th. Solid result for Luke Smith in 6th, Tom Martinez. He'll be delighted to pick up some points in the opening race in 7th. He'll be a bit frustrated though, because he actually crossed the line in 4th and looked like he was going to get 12 points, but halved to 6 after penalties were removed. After what was a pretty messy safety car restart. Alvaro Carrichon, he got 4 points. Primoz Miklavsic got 2, and Sam McBride picked up 1 point. And as you can see on the right hand side, you've got your calendar for the season ahead as well. Belgium down. We're now at Italy, well, kind of Italy. We're at the Imola circuit, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix as it's known in real life. It should be a cracking race, Dan. And yeah, it's a great circuit, and I've got to say, I really like it as a commentator because it's got these wonderful Italian names, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I love saying the corner names, but I think we'd butcher them quite a lot, you know. But it, you know, being our British souls, you know, we'll struggle with the Italian pronunciations. But I really do love this track as well. Although I actually can't recall ever commentating on a circuit like Imola, as in I just haven't been to this track before. So it's all new for me, I suppose, and it can be new for the drivers, of course. Recently coming onto the F1 game, I think in around about October time, it was brought into the game to fit like it was in the real life calendar, and now it is here. So it's going to be a new circuit, going to bring up all sorts of challenges, but of course we did come here last season.
Yeah, I'd say the best position for an overtake would definitely be down into that first corner, or turn 2 as it's maybe known, where George Russell and Valtteri Bottas had their shunt. Other than that, it's quite tight. It's not the most forgiving circuit though, Dan, is it? I mean, there's not, traditional runoff areas. There's quite a lot of grass, and the barriers are not actually that far away around here. It's almost got like a, how would you say it? Almost like an Albert Park sort of vibe to it a little bit. Quite narrow, the grass and gravel quite nearby. So it's quite forgiving, and the curbs are quite high too, so you don't want to go bouncing over them because it's quite easy to lose the rear end. So it's almost, well, it is an old school circuit really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and that is one thing that I really do love about it. It's not like a circuit like Paul Ricard. Of course, that's really forgiving. There's a whole lot of runoff there. Pretty much off the curbs, there's gravel or grass or something that will dissettle the car, send you into a spin, potentially into the wall. And well, the driver's going to be looking to avoid that as best as they can today. But given that this is Tier 1 on the PC, I'd imagine we're not going to see too many drivers running off and crashing.
Yeah, of course. So, yeah, absolutely right. These drivers, such high standards, so strong, and we're expecting another very, very tight qualifying session and race here tonight. The rain played havoc with the drivers last week at Spa. I wonder if we'll get any rain today at Imola. Usually you get nicer conditions in Italy, but in real life Formula 1 that wasn't the case. We had a wet race here at Imola in real life Formula 1 last season. Will we have the weather playing havoc again tonight, or will we have a simple dry race with a really close battle up towards the front? We'll keep an eye on the strategy as well. Will the drivers go for the softs? Will they go for the mediums? Or will we even see the hard compound tyre being in use as well? But we're moments away from getting qualifying underway. And remember, folks, it is Q1, Q2, Q3 here in WOR. Top tier. It's good to have the drivers working through the sessions, and it adds a little bit of realism to it as well. So we're expecting a very, very tight qualifying session, and it will be difficult for the drivers to try and negotiate their way through into the second part of qualifying and then through into the final part. Dan, early days, but have you got any tips for pole around here? Is there anyone that you think could be going quite well? And by the way, folks, before I go to that, I was speaking moments ago about the weather. Well, I'm just going to bring it up to you right now. Look at this. Look at this. We do have wet conditions here at Imola. There it is there. It took a while to load up, but there it is. Wet conditions here at Imola, and Dan, right away, the rain just seems to be following WOR everywhere at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we saw it last week. It wasn't quite intermediate conditions, but I think firmly the drivers are going to want to set their time on intermediates as soon as possible. Or maybe if it will clear up, drivers will actually take the most of the session. Of course, this is Q1, so they can wait as long as they can in this qualifying. So I'm not too sure who we're actually going to see out on circuit first. I mean, normally we see a set of the intermediates being used anyway, but that's in dry conditions. So it's nice to see them in the wet for a change. Yeah,
it will be nice to see them in the wet for a change. And well, I wonder who this favours then. I wonder who's feeling good about the wet conditions around this Imola circuit. I'm just looking on the timing ladder on the left-hand side. Ruben Pedreño's actually selected soft tyres in the box, which suggests to me that maybe he might not come out, and maybe they're expecting the track to dry up as the session goes on. We'll have to wait and see. But there is a car coming down the pit lane at the start of this qualifying session. I wonder who it is that's first out onto track. It's Nicolas Longuet. So let's see what he can do then. And he was very, very strong in qualifying the other night in PSGL, wasn't he, Danny? Set a mesmerising 125.3, which set the chat off in disbelief, because they were all expecting 25.4s, 25.5s at Silverstone, and he popped in one of the laps of the season. I spoke to the drivers after he did that lap at Silverstone, and they did say to me that could be the lap of the season. It was very impressive. So let's see what he can do here tonight at Imola in the Alfa Romeo, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, F1 esports veteran Nicolas Longuet making his debut in 2019. And he didn't race here, actually. I've got the results of the Imola race for esports on my other monitor here. He actually didn't race in this Grand Prix. So this could be new territory. He'd not seen too much of Nicholas Longe around this circuit, but he's got almost the entire track to himself. Of course, Tomek Paradzic and Ulash Ozildrim, both those drivers out on circuit. Challengers is headed to Imola, if I'm not mistaken, and if I am mistaken, I do apologise. But this should be some good practice for them. Through Ravazza, of course, the final double left-hander. Nicholas Longe is going to put us onto the start-finish straight. He'll be the first one on a lap, Andy.
Yeah, well, let's have a look then. On board with Nicholas Longe as he crosses the line now and starts a lap around this Imola circuit. And what a circuit it is. It is an absolute cracker, isn't it? Down towards the first chicane, the Tamburello chicane. Into that section he goes now, fifth gear, just feather the throttle. Oh, the rear end wanting to slide already. Big off, and onto the gravel trap he goes. And Nicholas Longe, early doors, having a major slide going through the Tamburello chicane. Hairy moment there, and really pushing hard on his first lap out of the pits and almost stuffing it into the barrier and ending his qualifying session, Dan.
He's done well to get it back on circuit, but I think that lap is going to be firmly in the bin for Nicholas Longe, which leaves Tomek Paradzic, the next driver, out on circuit, and he's just coming through turn number 8. This is up towards Acqua Minerale. He takes a downhill ride left, and then he's got to swing it in right. Normally this could be flat in the dry conditions, but you see he's having to brake and shift down through there, and again he catches the curbs. So a lot of these drivers struggling early already. We saw Nicholas Longe almost having an off, and now Tomek Paradzic having to save the car. He's managed to keep it though on circuit, and he's coming now through the final sector. He's just come out of one of the chicanes. There's quite a few around this track, and in towards Ravazza he goes. You see he's got to be so careful on the brakes and onto the accelerator. Of course, drivers do have a habit of just coming into the pit lane at the end of their laps, but I think, yes, Tomek Paradzic is going to cross the line here, and he's going to finish up on his run. The opening time of the day is going to be a 1 minute 23.043.
Yeah, and he's followed by Ulash Ozildrim over the line, and he pips him by a tenth of a second, and the first man into the 1 minute 22s, the Turkish driver, 1 minute 22.9 from him to open his lap. Let's see who else we got out there at the minute on a lap. Not John Evans, he's not on one. Is Alvaro Carrichon on one? No, there's someone out there in a blue shaded car. It's Miklavsic on an out lap, and he's coming round the final corner now in his Williams. And he's about to start a flying lap here with 13 minutes to go in qualifying out there in the intermediate tires. And that's a really interesting line, hugging that inside of the racetrack. It just takes an extra few metres off your overall lap, and well, obviously take a few metres off, you'll take some time off too, as Miklavsic then runs through the Tamburello chicane and then on now towards the Villeneuve chicane, and through that section he goes now, really throwing the Williams car in there, and he looks a lot more confident behind the wheel than what we saw from Nicholas Longe a few moments ago, as he now heads up through the hairpin at Tosa, where Lewis Hamilton famously went off in last season's Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, reversed it out and somehow managed to recover to the podium with a bit of good fortune with the red flag, and now sweeping through Pirotella and now down into Acqua Minerale, or mineral water if you want the less extravaganza name or way of putting it. But Miklavsic on a lap now down towards the Variante Alta chicane now, and down the years this has really been a challenge for the drivers. Yuki Tsunoda actually crashing here in qualifying in Formula 1 last year as well. Really challenging. I think Fernando Alonso once ended up in the wall down there in 2001 if I'm not mistaken, back when I was 5. Don't ask me how I remember that, but I do. As Miklavsic comes round the final couple of corners now and up towards the line. What can he do? 1 minute 22.2 from Nicholas Longe to beat. He crosses the line now and does a 1 minute 22.6 and goes third quickest, in behind Tomek Paradzic, who's gone fourth, Dan.
Absolutely. So 4 drivers have completed their lap. Shanaka Clay just about to cross the line now. Sam Corby went 5th, and he's docked down to 6th as now we've seen the first 1 minute 21 from the Aston Martin driver of Shanaka Clay. Really impressed so far this season with how he's performed, and that is a testament as to how well he is doing. Now 6 drivers with laps on the board, and there's a 4/10 gap actually between the top 2 runners of Shanaka Clay and then Nicholas Longe. As Jeffrey Ritchie had a bit of an off at Ravazza. He's about to cross the line now in his Alpine car, and he goes into 6th position. Yeah, so not the most impressive time, I'd say, from Jeffrey Ritchie, but I think he's got more in the tank.
Yeah, it's a really good lap though from Shanaka Clay. Is that early signs maybe that the track's improving already But that's a really strong showing from him at the start of this session. Who else we got out there on a lap at the minute? Let's see who we can pick up. Nope, John Evans still in the bits. I think the majority of the drivers are happy to just wait this out at the minute until the track dries, as we can now pick up Piotr Stachulek on a lap in that Ferrari now, the number 84 car. He's done a 55.6 through that middle sector as he pushes on his way towards the end of the lap, as he heads now down towards Ravazza 1 and 2. And I tell you what, Dan, I don't know about you, but I'd love to spend a Grand Prix weekend in one of those houses down at Ravazza. Tell you what, the rent might be quite steep, or the Airbnb might be quite steep on Formula 1 weekend, but it would be quite the place to watch a Grand Prix. As Stachulek comes up to the line now and does a 1 minute 23.1, the slowest time we've seen of all the drivers so far. But it certainly looks like the track might be going to be drying out, because with so many cars in the pits not doing a lap, and that suggests that the track might indeed be drying out towards the end of Q1, and that could bring with it some real drama, some real excitement, and potentially a few shocks as well, couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. If drivers get caught out by not being able to set a dry time, then they could be eliminated early in qualifying. So no one is safe at the moment, if we are predicting that it will become dry, as we do have a few drivers on runs. Unfortunately, Keaton Lutt is just invalidated. Varun Pedreño is now coming through. Ravazza 1 and 2 to complete his lap. I'm seeing on the timing tower, drivers are fitting the soft compound of tyre, as Varun Pedreño out of the final corner in his Haas for this weekend, and he goes into 9th position, just edging Piotr Stachulek by about 0.5 of a second. So now that is 10 drivers who have put runs in. But I do believe we are seeing some more drivers out on laps. One of those drivers actually being Andy, not Andy, you're in the commentary box with me, but Alvaro Carrichon. I'm getting all mixed up here.
Yeah, let's see if we can pick him up. There he is, Alvaro Carrichon. I mean, his name starts with an A, so I'll let you off. I wouldn't mind being Alvaro Carrichon. I would quite like to be this quick on the Formula 1 game, but, you know, I'll take that compliment. And maybe I am that quick, but Alvaro Carrichon is out there, and he's invalidated, gone a little bit wide there, and makes the mistake and heads off the track. But Aqua Minerale already taking a few prisoners at the start of this session, and unsurprisingly, it's a really high speed section of the racetrack, as Ruben Pedreño's just gone through it now. He's 2/10 up on his previous best, and the rear end squirming a little bit for Pedreño, but look at that, nearly half a second up on his previous best, and this should move him up towards the top 5 should he choose to complete it. And we have lost Miklavčić. He has crashed the car on the run down to Aqua Minerale, has he, Dan?
That looked awful. He lost the car on the way into the corner and slid into the inside barrier there, and his car's now stranded on the outside of just before Aqua Minerale there. That's really unfortunate from Miklavčić, and he's not going to be taking any further part in qualifying. He's lost it at Piratella, and so he's put him down. It's put him down to 15th on my screen. I'm not too sure if it's the same for you, but that should be comfortably him out of qualifying.
Yeah, put him out of well, it means I think it's because he's in the next session, but he won't go any quicker than 15th. I'm guessing that's why the timing ladder's done that. We've obviously dropped down further as Keaton Lutt is out there going quickly, the Estonian driver, pushing very hard and going purple through the middle sector on a set of intermediate tyres. No doubt about it, the track is certainly beginning to ramp up now. The rain has stopped falling on the circuit, and we're going to see some times beginning to tumble. Will he choose to complete this lap, or will he dive straight into the pits? He might go for that glory run to put that McLaren car on top. So Lutt heading up towards the line now. Is he going to go quickest? You think he maybe would? No, he's losing time, and it's a 22.7. He's 8th fastest at the minute. Dan, what do you think? You think we're going to see some dry tyres before the end of qualifying?
Yeah, I'm watching on board with Louis Welch, and there is no rain out on circuit, so I think drivers are gearing up for a slick run, and I'm actually seeing slick tyres for Jeffrey Ritchie. This is too early for him, I'd imagine, coming out this early on a set of the softs, and he's right in the 3rd sector, just coming up to Ravazza 1 now. So he's going to be starting this lap unless he chooses to come into the pit lane, but the conditions do not suit these dry tyres whatsoever, so I'd imagine he's going to pull off into the pit lane, because there's no way he's setting a competitive time, and yeah, pulls off to the right hand side, so he's coming back into the pit. But I think give it 2, 3, maybe 4 minutes and we'll see some dry running. So anyone who's set times on the intermediates probably might have actually wasted their time ever so slightly, and could put them on the back foot in qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely could, and well, brave stuff there from Jeffrey Ritchie. Could have ended up with the same issue is McLavsich wrapping the car around a barrier, but thankfully he's made it back to the pits without doing any damage. Kieran Lutt still out there on the racetrack at the minute. The Estonian pushing hard at Nat McLaren, locking the right front on the way into Ravazza 1, taking plenty of curb as he now heads into Ravazza 2. Feather the throttle, don't invalidate, just about keeps it within the boundaries and decides, I've had enough of this. I'm not going to entertain the commentators any longer. I'm coming into the pits and waiting for the ideal moment for a set of dry tyres, and just as we say that, he comes into the pits and the DRS is now enabled. So it's certainly now time for dry tyres, but the problem is, Dan, these drivers will want to leave this till the very last minute to get the best of the conditions. It could be a case of last man over the line is going to be quickest, first man over the line will get knocked out of Q1. Dramatic stuff, just what we want to see in qualifying. And immediately an Alpine coming back out onto the track, and Jeffrey Ritchie is itching to get out there on a set of softs. He's going straight back out again.
I'd still say it's a bit too early, but I guess we can get an onboard shot of the Alpine car as he now exits the pit lane here onto the main straight and up towards the Tamburello chicane. And I'm seeing there's still slight wet patches, and he's having to be really careful on his outlap as well. So I'd say he's maybe just a minute or two too early here. But, you know, he maybe just wants to get out above the crowd, not get caught up in any traffic. Of course, if they're all waiting in the final sector, come when it's 30 seconds left to go and they're trying to be the last man out on circuit, well, they might not be able to even set a time, and that could spell the end of qualifying in an instant. So I'd say setting a slower lap is better than setting no lap at all. And Jeffrey Ritchie, I guess he thinks the same way.
Yeah, he's looking like he's going to tentatively make his way around. I suppose the advantage for Jeffrey Ritchie here would be that he might be able to get some more temperature in his tyres. It might give him a bit more experience in these semi-dry conditions for a couple of laps than the others. Has he fueled the car though? That's the question. Has he fueled it up long enough to stay out to the end of the session? Will the soft tyres have enough life in them for a run at the end? Let's wait and see as Jeffrey Ritchie carries on his way. Is he going to box, or is he going to go for our first dry run of this qualifying session? If you've just joined us, folks, we started Q1 with intermediate conditions. The rain was falling, and Nicholas Longue is now out there. Kieran Lutt is now out there onto the track as Jeffrey Ritchie crosses the line now, and he's not going at any great speed to start that flying lap, is he? So maybe he's just building it up and bringing the tyres into the window. That could be the only thing he's trying to do.
Yeah, he's not pushing at all, so he's not trying to improve on the lap that he's got at the moment. Essentially, he's just taking an extra out lap, which of course is going to put wear on his tyres. It's going to weaken the grip on them, but it is going to have more temperature, and in these damp conditions, there is no rain out on track, but there is still slightly wet on the circuit, and I suppose that it will be difficult to generate heat into the tyres as now everyone comes out all at once. So all it needed was just a few drivers out on track, and then everyone decides it is best to enter as I think Sam Corby is the only man in the pit lane aside from Primoz Miklavčić, who is out of qualifying. But as Jeffrey Ritchie, he's not going to be the first one to set a lap. I believe that's going to put us on a lap with Nicholas Longue in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, and he's got the McLaren right behind him with Kieran Lutt, and look at them weaving left and right to get so much temperature in the tyres. This is where Jeffrey Ritchie maybe doesn't need to worry about that because he's already got temperature. So here we go then. The first proper lap will not be from Jeffrey Ritchie, it will be from Nicholas Longue. He crosses the line now and gets us up and running for what is going to be a 3-minute shootout at the end of qualifying to see who will make it through into the next part of qualifying. As you can see on the left-hand side, only 10 drivers with times at the minute, and Nicholas Longue already in trouble, already on the back foot. He's invalidated it into turn 1. Not what he wanted. He's under big pressure.
Yeah, that is poor from Nicholas Longue, and if he can't set another time, if he can't start another lap, well, it's going to be curtains for his qualifying session. But other drivers are on runs. I'm watching Tomek Parancic at the moment in the Alpine. He was absolutely flying through Villeneuve, and he's now 2 seconds up already on his previous best lap, currently in 5th position. And he's doing really well so far to keep it on the road. We are now in prime conditions as he's got the Alfa Romeo of Nicholas Longue just in front of him, and he flies down towards Acqua Minerale, a corner where he saw him braking earlier as well, a slide off the exit of the turn number 10 there. He gets a slight toe from Nicholas Longue and in towards Variante Alta, the very tricky high curb chicane. Be careful to keep it on circuit, and he's done that very nicely as he approaches the rear of the McLaren of Kieran Lutt down towards Ravazza. Here he comes. The final braking zone is just on the rise here. Got to keep it on circuit, got to keep the car on the track, and off the exit of the final corner, Tomek Paradzic with just under a minute to go. He's going to cross the line, and he's going to be the first driver to set a soft run with a 1 minute 13.7, already immediately beaten by his fellow countryman Sahalek, and then Ulas and Zildjian as well. They're all flying at the moment.
Yeah, they're all absolutely putting in times. Here comes Tom Martinez towards the end of his lap at the minute. John Evans, I think, crossed the line there. No, he didn't. It's Tom Martinez over the line now. He goes 6th quickest. Times flying in here at the end of qualifying. So they'll have one more lap after this one. Here comes Jake Benham, currently 17th quickest, crossing the line now in his Mercedes car. Where does he go? He goes up to 5th. John Evans is behind him on the road. What can he do? John Evans up to the line now. It shows Zildjian on top. Evans crossed the line. He goes 4th quickest. Louis Welch, the pad man, currently slowest as Josh Idaho crossed the line and goes P11. What about Louis Welch? Here he is then, the pad man. He's invalidated his lap and he's under a lot of pressure as he starts this final lap of qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. Louis Welch has got one run to do it, and if they're not on a run at the moment, then that's their qualifying over and done with. That could see the end of Sam Corby, Keaton Lutt, and Jack West as Sam Corby into the pit lane, and he's out of this session. But I think Louis Welch is flying at the moment as Keaton Lutt towards the line. Can he get himself out of Q1? Indeed, he can.
Well, Nicholas
Longe is next.
He needs a lap.
Longe across the line.
Oh, he's 13th. He's in trouble with that. He's in big trouble with that. Who behind him on the road can topple him? Tom Martinez is one of them. Ruben Pedreño might be another. Here comes Tom Martinez up to the line. Can he knock Idaho and Longley down the order? Tom Martinez for the line. No, he's out. He stays 16th. Jack West is out as well. Only Louis Welch can improve. Can he knock Ruben Pedreño out of qualifying? Pedreño on the bubble, sees the checkered flag with a 14-0. Louis Welch, the pad man, can knock Pedreño out here. That's the big story in qualifying. Can he do it? Josh Idaho survives, as does Nicholas Longe, with pretty okay laps, but Louis Welch at the minute is rearing up an Alpha Tauri back row unless he can do something very special to knock out Ruben Pedreño at the end of qualifying. He can't. He's 18th. And that is a disastrous session for the Alpha Tauri team. He's out. Sam Corby, the hero last week, is also out, as is McLavsic, who stuck it in the barrier. Tom Martinez and Jack West, all out of qualifying, Dan.
Yeah, I was touch and go for Ruben Pedreño, but he's just about survived into the next session. I'm also surprised about Nicholas Longe and Josh Idowu being so low down. 13th and 14th respectively. Only about half a tenth off of being eliminated in the first session of qualifying. Especially Josh Idowu, he set pole in F1 Esports around this circuit. It was a flying lap and almost being eliminated in Q1 in WR. That's not good signs for the man who's just recovered. He's out of hospital and he's back racing. It really is actually wonderful to see him here, as we are now finished with Q1. We'll get a full rundown of the classification of this session.
Yep, so a bit of a shame then for the padman Louis Welch, a bit of a shame for Tom Martinez as well, but there is the final results of the first part of qualifying. Ulas or Zildjian, and I've got to say, we're seeing this guy at the top of the timing screens more and more often at the minute. The Turkish driver on top ahead of Stachulek in second. Luke Smith, a solid effort in the Alfa Romeo to go third, with Paradzic fourth and John Evans in fifth. Shinaka Clay is sixth with Jake Benham in seventh. Jeffrey Ritchie 8th and Simon Weigang 9th. Alvaro Carrichon completes the top 10. Liam Parnell is next with Keaton Lutt in P12. Nicholas Longe, a surprise to be down in 13th, but he got the job done, as did Josh Idowu, with Ruben Pedreño squeezing through. Out of qualifying, it's the Welshman Jack West, Tom Martinez, Louis Welch the padman, Primoz McLavsic of Slovenia, and Sam Corby, the hero last time out, who stuck it in P20. So a bit of a shame for Sam Corby, Dan, but qualifying in Q1, exciting, dramatic, rain at the start, and at the end it was drama with everyone crossing the line, and in the end it's a shame for both Alfa Tauris, Tom Martinez and McLavsic, who stuck it in the wall as well. But what are you expecting then for Q2? Maybe a change in strategies, dry conditions now for this next session, Dan, so I wonder what tyre choice they're going to go for.
I think they might be a bit more aggressive in Q2, given that by staying in the box for so long, a lot of these drivers actually saved a set of tyres. They didn't go out at all, and normally you use probably 2 sets of softs in Q1. Now drivers are going to be able to utilise that in Q2 or potentially Q3. I'm seeing a Williams exiting the garage first. That might be Alvaro Carrichon. Indeed it is. He's on a set of the medium compound tyre, the yellow striped tyre, as is Simon Gang and Keaton Lutz. So all of these drivers are going to be trying to opt for the alternate strategy where they start on the mediums as opposed to the softs. We'll just have to wait and see, as he's the first out on track. The Spaniard followed by an Alfa Romeo car of Nicolas Longuet, and then an Alpine of, I think, Tomek Karadzic.
Yep, so the car's pouring out onto the track then, and unlike Q1, where we were kind of starved of dry weather action and general action in the opening 10 minutes or so, with drivers staying in the pits, they all pour out at the start of qualifying. Half the drivers already out there on the racetrack. Alvaro Carrichon on the mediums, John Evans mediums too, quite a few of them adopting the medium tyre, and you know, we'll see what they do. Alvaro Carrichon looks like he's heading out there to set a banker on mediums and see where it puts them, and then he might decide later on to go back and fit a set of softs. But all this already points to a dry race, or a dry start to the race at the very least. We'll have to wait and see if there is any intentions of rain arriving in the race like we had last time out in Belgium, where Danny Beresnay came out on top. But here it comes, Alvaro Carrichon down to the bottom of the hill at Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2, and he's about to start the first flying lap of the second part of qualifying. The back end sliding there on the Williams as the Spaniard pushes down on that throttle pedal as he crosses the line now and gets this session up and running. Let's go on board then with Alvaro Carrichon as he heads down then into the first chicane down at Tamburello, into the left-hander. Look at the speed difference from what we saw in the wet conditions. 5th, then 6th gear, 7th on the exit, and then he powers down into the Villeneuve chicane. Brake around 60 metres, swing the car into the left-hander, then right a little bit wide, a bit away from the apex for Carrichon, but he'll get away with that. Into Tosa, locks the left front as he moves into that left-hander, the back end sliding as he sticks the rear onto the curb, climbing uphill through turn 8 into turn 9. Look at the commitment he shows there. You've got to be very, very careful on exit not to invalidate, and he goes downhill into Aquaman Rally, flat out on the way in. Go down onto the brake pedal, sweep into the second part, and then begin the climb up the hill into the Vari Anti-Alta chicane. Brake at 50 metres, very, very high curbs, bounces over them. So important to carry momentum and keep the traction as you exit the corner and get down that hill in the quickest way possible. Now down into Ravazza 1, plenty of curb, into the left hand, and he goes in 3rd gear, quickly into 4th, then up into 5th for the exit of the final corner, and then up to the line. Carrichon sets the banker, and a 1 minute 14.526 on a set of the medium tyre.
He was beaming with confidence on that lap. Was Alvaro Carrichon. That might not be safe for him as Tomek Karadzic next across the line. He sets a 13.96, and then Piotr Stahelek does the opposite with a 1 minute 13.69. Pedreño goes into 3rd position with a 1 minute 14.1, but I'm trying to see who I can find towards the end of their lap. Jake Benham being one of them, disqualified out of the race last week. We'll see if he can rectify those issues that he has, as now he crossed the line to complete his run on a set of the softs, and he goes just 100th quicker than Tomek Karadzic, but still Piotr Stahelek levels clear of anyone else at the moment. Jake Benham in P2. But that already sets us off to a banger start to qualifying 2.
Yeah, and here comes Simon Vagang. He's gone purple through the middle sector. Not actually seen much of Simon on track so far. I think this is the first we've picked him up. So, sorry Simon, we've not given you much coverage, but we're on with you now as you go purple through the middle sector and try and go quickest of all at this stage of qualifying. Out there in the soft tyre, and he decides, I'm coming into the pits. You're not following me around the racetrack. And then he comes to end that lap. Who else we got out there? Luke Smith is on a lap in his Alfa Romeo, as is Nicolas Longuet, but he's abandoned his. So we'll go back to Luke Smith in his Alfa Romeo, making his way through that chicane and then powering down the hill towards Ravazza 1 and 2. Now, what do you think, Dan? Do you think we'll see any overtakes into Ravazza 1? I think it'll be difficult. I think most of the action will be down into that first corner, won't it?
Yeah, it's going to be daring if anyone lurches up the inside at that corner, especially since it's right before the DRS straight, as there goes Luke Smith across the line, 400th clear of Piotr Stahelek, setting the provisional fastest time in this qualifying session. No one else has been able to touch these two, really. As I say that, Ulash Zildrum with 1 minute 13.458. He might as well be in a Ferrari with a time like that. Really impressive from Ulash Zildrum in his Haas.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying at the minute. He's in great form in qualifying. Don't forget, Ulash Zildrum on pole last week in what was a Haas front row with him and Stachulek, and it's looking pretty strong again for Ulash Zildrum. Very, very quick lap. 13.4, 2/10 quicker than what we've seen from anyone else up till now. He really is starting to make a name for himself as Liam Parnell starts a flying lap on a set of soft tires. John Evans has gone out on a set of mediums, as has Josh Adowo on out laps at the minute. So for now, we'll stick with Liam Parnell, Dan, who we haven't also seen much of him on track, but we're picking him up now, and let's see what he can do in qualifying in these dry conditions.
Yeah, down through Piratella now, where Primoz Michalevich crashed out in Q1, but he's taken that very nicely. Down through Aqua Minerali, flat out through turn 9. Then he's got a break through turn 10. Splendid stuff from Liam Parnell. Unash Zildjian, current pole sitter in Q2, off to the right hand side through Variante, Alta mounting the curbs on entry and exit here, and he's taken this really nicely indeed, crossing into the third sector and down in towards Variante, Rivazza 1 and 2. Here he goes for the first braking point, short shifting to get the most traction off the exits of the corners in 5th gear, now rising through 6th and 7th as he makes the short turn towards the final corner. Liam Parnell goes 4th position with that time, 1 minute 13.769, just a few hundredths quicker than Jake Benham. He's ever so slightly off the back of Stahalek and Luke Smith. So impressive stuff from Liam Parnell in his Red Bull car, and I hope he'll be able to continue that form.
John Evans pushing very hard there and just had a little trundle onto the gravel. Not very much gravel. I don't think he scrubbed off too much speed on those medium tyres as he carries on his way down through Piratella and into Aqua Minerali now. Let's see what John Evans can do through the middle sector. He looked a little bit far away from the apex there on exit. Let's see what he does as he comes over the crest. It's a 49.7 up till now. What is Josh Adowo doing? He's ahead of him on the road, but it looks like he has bailed out of his lap. And has John Evans bailed out of his too? Yeah, he has. It looked a bit ragged for me, and he bails out of his, as does Josh Adowo. So it's not working for them on the medium tyre stand. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I don't think it's working for Nicolas Longuet on the softs. He's just gone through the gravel at Villeneuve, and he's not having a good time in qualifying. He invalidated his first run, and now he's not even been able to set a competitive time. He's gone through the gravel off the exit of Villeneuve at turn number 6. So really not looking good for Longuet, but there are other drivers on runs at the moment, one of them being Simon Weiger. He's just coming through Rivazza now, and off the exit of Rivazza 2. You'll see he's right on the curbs on exit, but he is looking quick, is the German driver, and he in his Aston Martin, he crossed the line, goes P2. His teammate Shanaka Clay is also coming through the final sector, so the Aston Martins could be in strong stead coming into the final parts of qualifying 2. We've only got 6.5 minutes left here, as now Shanaka Clay towards the line, and he goes ahead of his teammate quite comfortably actually by just over 1/10 of a second. So Aston Martin 2 and 3.
Yeah, Aston Martin looking very, very strong at the minute. Shanaka Clay and Simon Weigang late to do a time in this part of qualifying, but they're not hanging around now and out there on laps. Speaking of not hanging around, Kieran Lutt is another one who's on a decent lap at the minute in the McLaren. Currently 11th quickest and heading out of qualifying as things stand, with his teammate Josh Adowo behind him in 12th. But I'm sure we're going to see big improvements. It looks like the majority of the drivers are electing for a set of soft compound tyres now as Kieran Lutt comes round the final corner up to the line. He's currently 12th now. Where can he go? He goes 5th quickest with a 13.6, so a good improvement there from him to move himself into the top 5. The times are tumbling. It's very, very close at the top. Several drivers on a 1:13.6. Third right through to 6th, and then we've got a couple of drivers behind that on a 1:13.7 as well. So interesting to see what the cut-off point will be, but I do think it will be around a 1:13.6, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think Alvaro Carrichon is going to be within that time quite comfortably at the moment. He's 6/10 up on his previous best, which he set on the medium tyres, and he's just coming through the final sector now in his Williams car. His first run on the soft compounder tyre in Q2. He's ditched the medium strategy as he sees himself in 12th position, trying to climb himself out of the depths of elimination as Nicolas Longuet is finally hooked up a lap, and he goes into P1, but he could be dethroned by Alvaro Carrichon as now he's crossed the line in his Williams, and he goes 4th fastest, splitting the Aston Martin cars. But how about that from Nicolas Longuet?
Yeah, it looked like he was struggling to hook the lap up together, but when he does hook it up, he shows his pace and he edges ahead of Ulassos Yildirim by a couple of hundredths. So a good effort there from him, and that has put him to the top of the timing screens. Kieran Lutt, we've seen a lot of him in this qualifying session. He's going again. No, he's not. He's coming into the pits, and that is it from him. So he comes into the pit lane at the minute, and the Red Bull behind him coming in as well. That leaves just Nicolas Longuet and Alvaro Carrichon out on the track, but they're both, I think, on in laps. So let us know in the comment section below, folks. Not long to go to the end of Q2. What do we think the cut-off time's going to be? I am going to go for a low 1 minute 13.6. I think around where Simon Weigang is will be the cut-off point on that 1:13.628. Folks in the chat, let us know, where do you think that cut-off point will be, and who do you think at the minute is best placed for pole? At the minute, Dan, I'm thinking Ulassos Yildirim. I think he's looking strong.
Yeah, Ulassos Yildirim, of course, setting his time of a 1 minute 13.458 only. He's only 300th off the back of Nicolas Longuet, so he is well within reach in that Alfa Romeo, who did set his time later in the session as well, which of course means there's going to be more rubber laid on the circuit, and track evolution means that he will go quicker later on in these sessions. But we're in a little bit of a lull period. We do have drivers out on out laps at the moment, one of them being the all-star himself, Jake Benham, in an unfamiliar place. He's in 10th position at the moment, on the cusp of being eliminated from qualifying. And I imagine that the young Englishman in the Mercedes, disqualified last week, he's really coming into this one with a vengeance. He's going to be preparing to set his final run in qualifying. He has got himself enough time to possibly do 2 runs in a row if he does end up messing up this one. But here he goes, running out wide, and to get the longest run into the first corner, and he is going to begin this lap. Here he goes, reaching speeds of up to 320 kilometers per hour through the first chicane of Tamburello, flinging it in, a little bit of a ride on the curbs, and he's really trying to be committed on this lap. One chicane leads to another as he's up towards Villeneuve, a lot quicker than Tamburello, onto the curbs again on Apex, and he's taking this so nicely up towards the slowest point of the track at Tosa, turn number 7, on the run-up now towards Piratella corner. Jake Benham is flying at the moment on his run as here he comes to the fast left-hander onto the downhill section up towards Aqua Minerali, flat out through turn number 9, and then heavy braking in towards turn number 10, riding it on the curbs off the exit, close to invalidation there up towards Variante Alta, where the tricky and challenging chicane is. He's only a 10th off on his previous best. He might not be safe at the moment. Jake Benham now coming out of that second sector and into sector 3, where it all could be made or lost for him. Through Ravata 1 and up towards Ravata 2. Jake Benham is flying at the moment, but this will not see him safely into the final part of qualifying. Here he comes, taking the tightest line on the right-hand side towards the line. And wow, what an improvement through the final sector with a 1 minute 13.484. Puts him into P3.
Yeah, big lap there. Needed it as well from him, so he gets himself through. Who else is out there? Ruben Pedreño at the minute in the final sector, currently 12th quickest and currently heading out of qualifying. Needs a big lap at the end of this session in that Haas car to move himself through into Q3. Takes the shortest run to the line, currently P12. He moves himself up to 6th position and into the 0.5s. That might just be enough to squeeze him through. We'll wait and see. Joshua Dolu is out there at the minute as well on a lap, as is John Evans. Who's further round? Let's have a look. It's Joshua Dolu that's further round the lap, so we'll keep an eye on him at the minute. Liam Parnell is also out there, so we'll pick him up as he is even further on. So Liam Parnell currently 12th quickest and heading out of qualifying, needs a big improvement, comes up to the line now. Can he get himself through? 12th at the minute, stays P12. Now then, Joshua Dolu up to the line, improving by 7/10, needs a big improvement, goes up to 7th quickest and sees himself through for the moment. John Evans now, he's 14th and he is out of qualifying. Disaster for John Evans. Who we got behind that on the road? Simon Weigang is currently on the bubble and he's invalidated his lap, so he is in real trouble of being knocked out of qualifying by this man, Luke Smith, who's 11th at the minute, but he is 500ths down on his previous best. It needs to be a very special final sector from Luke Smith if he's to knock the German driver, Simon Weigang, off his perch and out of the next part of qualifying. Luke Smith needs the time, knows what he needs to beat. Can he get himself through? Yes, he can. 9th quickest. Out goes Simon Weigang. Kedon Luke is on the bubble. He's gone quickest. What a time that is. 1:13.4 to get himself through and into the next part of qualifying. Wow, Dan.
Yeah, but it is not over here because Simon Weigang, he's gone for another push lap and he is 200s up on his previous best. Could eliminate the man who knocked him into the bottom 5. Luke Smith now on the bubble. Rune Pedreño isn't on a push lap at the moment, so it's all up to this man, Simon Weigang, who could just come through Variante Alta now as he's into the final sector. Ferrari car just in front of him needs to get out of the way. That's Piotr Stahelek pulling off to the right-hand side. The left-hand side is Josh Idowu. Here comes the German driver as Shanaka Clay, his teammate, goes quickest, but Simon Weigang on the bubble of being eliminated. Could pick up a slight toe from Stahelek to cross the line. Simon Weigang into Q3 by the skin of his teeth. Just about finds a way through, eliminates Luke Smith in the process of it. That's going to be heartbreak, probably more devastating than your loss in the darts, Andy.
Oh, very good, very, very good. Luke Smith then, 11th quickest and is eked out of qualifying. Looked like he'd done enough. Simon Weigang went again and scraped himself through off the bubble and into the next part of qualifying, setting the exact same time as Alvaro Carrichon. Look at that, a 1 minute 13.563. And that just goes to show you how evenly matched this field is. I mean, look at that. I said a 13.6, it ended up being a 13.5, and there is 1.5 tens covering the top 10. That is astonishing, Dan.
I'd like to apologise as well for the little dance comment. I think that was a bit out of nowhere, but the gaps are so microscopic. I think Keaton Lott was beat to the lead of this session by 0.005 of a second. So yeah, the gaps are crazy tight here. I think the top 6 were within the first 10th of each other. Make that actually the top 7. Incredible stuff in this qualifying. Is here on your screen. It's a full comprehensive list of qualifying results. Yeah, incredible. Shanaka Clay then edges out Keaton Lott, which is the big surprise of the session. 0.005 away from toppling Shanaka Clay. Nicholas Longue in 3rd position, barely nothing in it. Jonas Zeldrum is 4th, with Jake Benham 5th, and Stachulek in 6th. Perazis ekes inside the top 7 within a 10th of a second. Josh Idowu, Simon Weigang, and Alvaro Carrichon outgo Luke Smith, Rune Pedreño, Jeffrey Ritchie, Liam Parnell, and John Evans in the Red Bull. He'll be very disappointed with that. So the big surprise of qualifying got to be John Evans missing out and dropping into Q2 down in 15th place. He'll be very disappointed with that, won't he, Dan? Yeah, he really will be. Both Red Bull drivers out of this session, and only by about 0.2 of a second were they off of Shanaka Clay. So the gaps were really just one mistake away. Could have put you in the top 5 of Q2 or in the bottom 5. So really there is no room for error in WOR, but the 10 fastest from Q2 that advance to the battle for pole position, and with the gaps like that, we are really going to see something special in 12 minutes time. Who knows will be on pole. Yeah, well, it was Jonas Zeldrum to put it on pole last week at Spa, ahead of his teammate Piotr Stachulek, who was in the Haas that week. He's not in the Haas now, but as we go into Q3, I can't believe this, folks, the weather has turned again. Look at this, back to the wet conditions for the final part of qualifying. The rain is playing havoc in WOR. Look at this, Dan, wet conditions for the final part of qualifying once again, and the form book flips again. Yeah, what the hell are we seeing? It was complete sunshine at the end of Q2, and normally a real F1 it's just about 3 minutes or so between qualifying sessions, and all of a sudden the cloud coverage has come and the rain is pouring. That sets us up for a wet qualifying, wet Q3. First driver out on track. He was first out in Q1. In Q2. Sorry, it's Alvaro Carrichon on his set of the intermediate tyre. The first one out on track, as they're all coming out actually, as I'd imagine they're itching to get their final runs in. Yeah, they sure are. And well, this is going to be very, very interesting at the end of qualifying. What are we going to see then from these drivers? Oh, I almost lose the graphics, but we've got them back now. But this is going to be very, very interesting to see how this pans out. Intermediate tyres for everybody at the start of the session. Will the weather dry up though, or will it stay like this for the entire session? For me, the fact that everyone's gone out there straight away suggests to me we might be stuck with these intermediate conditions for the entire session. But 12 minutes to go then in qualifying, 10.5 in fact. Who is going to be on pole? Let us know in the comment section below. Who are you going for to get the pole position in the second race of the season? Callum Teasdale says, come on Shanaka.
Can he get that pole position? Who are you going for? Dan, tell us. Get off the fence. Let us know.
Oh, man, I really do like my perch up here on the fence. You know, it's really difficult to choose what driver I want to go for pole position. But you know what? Just at a random guess, I'm going to say Josh Adowu is going to take pole position here, purely because he took it in F1 Esports. So the less said about his race, I'd say the better. But over one lap, he can be fast around this track.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see if he can do the business. Who am I going to go for? Let's see. I'm going to go Longue. I'm going to go Longue if he hooks it up. That's who I think will get the pole position. I was thinking it was the Eldrum initially. I'm going for Longue now. Here is Alvaro Carrichon, 26.2 through the first sector on those intermediate tyres. Let's see what he can do as he climbs up the hill now in towards turn number 9. Pushing hard through there, but look at the speed difference he takes compared to what we saw in the dry, and he's gone and invalidated it. A bit of oversteer from the rear of his car, and he has ruined his first attempt. Jake Benham behind him on the road is looking pretty solid though. Into Aqua Minerale he goes, or mineral water, whatever you prefer. Here comes Jake Benham then climbing the hill. Take a look at that top right hand corner. What is the timing being showing? It's showing a 55.237 through the middle sector. The tyres locking as he goes into that chicane, bouncing over the curbs. He's just scrambling and hoping and praying that you can keep that momentum going through that section, and Jake Benham has done a reasonable job of that as he comes down now into the Vatsa number 1, into the left-hander, just a little bit of curb, feather the throttle, behave like you've got an egg underneath your throttle pedal that you don't want to break, and then squeeze it towards the line. Jake Benham, what's he going to do? A 1 minute 22.5 is what they're all aiming for. Behind him on the road, Nicholas Longue goes quicker than that and goes with a 22.2. Who else we got out there? Let's pick up Statulek. He's coming around the final corner, up to the line as Barantzis goes in between the top two. Statulek goes in there as well with a 22.4.
Yeah, the Polish driver's keeping it nice and tight-knit. Simon Weigang just finding his way into Q3 now. Is about to cross the line in his Aston Martin. He goes slowest of all so far as Josh Adowu takes that crown. He's done a 1 minute 32, so expect him to improve on that. It's now Keelan Lutt is the next one to cross the line, goes into 7th position. I'm trying to find who's towards the end of their run. I think it's just Alvaro Carrichon and Shanaka Clay left on their initial runs. Of course, Alvaro Carrichon invalidating on his first go, but now he's coming back strong, and he is a good few tenths quicker than what Nicholas Longue was in his second sector, so we need to keep on board with the Spaniard in the Williams, as here he comes down towards Ravazza 1 and 2, where he'd be a lot quicker in the drive, but he's got to be very cautious in these treacherous conditions, locking the inside front left where the tyre completely stops spinning. Going to be flat spots on that intermediate set as just off the exit of the final corner. Alvaro Carrichon invalidates there. And that's got to be hell up break for him.
Yeah, that's not good for Alvaro Carrichon at the start of the final part of qualifying. Jake Benham now goes quick as the ball on a 22.0. Longue beats it. Shanaka Clay up to the line now. Goes quick as the ball. 121.5. The track conditions are ramping up here in qualifying. As Statulek comes again. What can he deliver this time? He goes 5th quickest. But the lap times are coming in thick and fast. They've fueled the cars up. Goes Eldrum, he's going quicker still. He goes 5th now, 22.0. Behind that, Simon Vagan crosses the line, and he goes 6th. But time after time, tumbling here. Josh Adowu goes 4th, and here comes Kieran Lutt. What can he do to cross the line? He's improving as well, and he stays 9th on a 22.2. This is exciting stuff, Dan. I like seeing the drivers pound round and round and round and knock a few tenths every lap off their qualifying time. Not often you get to see this, and I'm really, really enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it myself as well. I'm trying to see if anyone is on runs, but
They're all going again. They're all going again. Yeah.
I think they are.
Longue.
Yeah,
he's gone.
Longue's on a push lap.
Yeah, look at that.
He's just come through Variante Alta now, and he is about a 10th of a second up on his previous best in that Alfa Romeo. Your pick, of course, for pole position, down towards Ravazza 1 and 2. This could be the quickest time of this session, certainly quicker than Tomek Paragic, only 0.02 of a second separating them at the moment, but he needs some beating to overthrow Shanaka Clay, the king, as they like to call him, as here he comes to cross the line. Nicholas Longue, he lost time in that final sector, still improves to go 2nd, but he's lost more time to Shanaka Clay as he goes quickest of them all in that Aston Martin car, and I love this. They're all going again and again. It's really exciting stuff.
Yeah, really exciting. Ulas Oseldrum, is he coming in? It looks like some of them at the end are coming in. Is Simon Vagang going again? He is going again. Vagang, third lap in a row. What can he do? Goes P4, 1 minute 21.9. Two McLarens at the end of their laps. Are either of them on one? Joshua Dubu's going slowly, and Keaton Lutt, I think, is also going slowly. So finally, the end of this breathless run. Some drivers doing 2 laps, some doing 3, and look at Keaton Lutt. He's going again. He's filled it up, and here we go. 4th lap on the spin for Keaton Lutt. What can he do? Can he move himself up towards pole and pull off a superb lap? The Estonian driver starts his lap now as he heads down into the Tamburello chicane. Go on, Keaton. Let's see what you can do.
Of course, the intermediate tyres do tend to perform a little bit better when they've been worn for a good few laps, so this could be good stuff from Keaton Lutt as here he comes down towards the first sector split, and he's a 10th up on his previous best. This, of course, if he keeps this gap, is not going to be enough to put him above 8th position, but he still can find time as he's in through the second sector now, down towards Piratella corner as he rises up the hill, and that swiftly is going to be sent right back down towards Aqua Minerale. Little bit of a correction off the exit of turn number 8, but through turn 9, normally flat in the dry conditions. Carried too much speed through the corner there, and he's invalidated his run, but that leads Alvaro Carrichon, the next one, to put us on a lap.
Yep, here he comes in, the only man in Q3 with 4 minutes to go without a lap time on the board, and he really needs it in that Williams car. The Spaniard then, what can he do as he heads through Tosa now and begins that climb up the hill into Piratella? Let's see what he can do. 10th quickest at the minute, Alvaro Carrichon up to the top of the blind crest and then swings it into the left-hander. Don't invalidate on the exit, it's easy to do so, and Carrichon just about keeps it within the margins. Now into Aqua Minerale, almost like Degna 1 and 2 at Suzuka, with a little bit of, incline on the way into the corner, or decline I should say, and now here comes Alvaro Carrichon into the chicane. 54.8 so far. This looks like a pretty decent lap from Alvaro Carrichon as he gets back on the throttle and heads down the hill. Jake Benham is behind him, but he's on an out lap. It's only Alvaro Carrichon on a quick one at the minute. Benham will be the first to start the next flurry of activity. Here comes Carrichon into the final couple of corners, and I think he's slowed right down, has he? Or is he on a lap? No, I think he's taking a bit of pace out of it, and he comes up to the line now, and he goes 9th quickest at 22.2. What can he do on the next run as we get going for the final flurry at the end of qualifying? Buckle yourself up, folks. This is going to be very enjoyable.
I think if drivers are on push laps, then they're going to be going right in towards the end, so I'd imagine that Alvaro Carrichon is going on a back-to-back lap, but he has unfortunately invalidated this run. However, Jake Benham is trying to find some time in his Mercedes car in Q3 with just 2.5 minutes left to go through the Villeneuve chicane, really taking the commitment through the car, and he's on the curbs off the exit. We'll see his improvement, and he is slightly down on his previous best. He's just on the bubble of being into the 1 minute 22s, which splits the grid 5 and 5 at the moment. Jake Benham leading that bottom 5 train at the moment, as Alvaro Carrichon might get in his way here off the exit of Piratella, and he's rode the curbs and had to correct himself. This is really not looking to be the best lap from Jake Benham in his Mercedes, and we'll see at the second sector split time, see if he is actually finding any improvement. Here he comes now. Yeah, he's losing more time. So I think Jake Benham, he's going to probably gear up to go for another one. Yeah,
so let's pick up Statulik then. I think he might be on a lap. No, he's bailed out of his. So let's see. Is Shinaka Clay maybe? Out lap for him. Who else behind him? Ulas Oseldrum, he's made a mistake on his lap too. Tomek Paradzis? Yes, he's out there. The Polish driver, the Polish Eagle, soaring up into 3rd position at the minute. What can he do at the end of qualifying? What can he do? He goes 2.5 tenths quicker almost than his previous best. This could be on course to challenge the time at the top of the timing screens at the minute of Shinaka Clay in the Aston Martin. Shinaka Clay, who during the week picked up the victory in PSGL. He is the championship leader at the minute in PSGL, Shinaka Clay. He's on form at the start of 2022. What can Tomek Paradzis do as he comes round the final corner? Can the Polish driver soar to the top of the timing screens? Across the line he comes. He can. 1 minute 21.4. He's half a tenth quicker than Shinaka Clay. Good lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh Dowu, the next one's crossed the line. He's gone into 4th position, just ahead of Simon Weigang. More drivers are on runs at the moment. One of them being Nicolas Longuet in his Alfa Romeo. He's just coming through Piratella now. Only a slight improvement through the first sector, as is Shanaka Clay on a run. So we need to pick up these two at some point, because here comes Nicolas Longuet about to cross into the second sector split. We'll see what his improvement is. He's 2.5 tenths up on the dot here, so he could see himself into the front row fight between Tomek Parajic and Shanaka Clay. The Frenchman looking to insert himself into the pole picture. He's just got 2 more corners to negotiate. It's Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2 locking up on the way in. The rain still clattering on that Alfa Romeo's off the exit of the final turn, the final braking zone for Nicolas Longuet, with 10 seconds left in qualifying to cross the line. Longuet is on pole provisionally, but Tomek Parajic and Shanaka Clay are on runs. Clay has actually invalidated, so he's got one more opportunity here.
Oh, he's not even going to get that. The checkered flag's out. It's gone for him. Tomek Parajic is going slowly. Stachulek, he's not on a lap either at the minute. Who is on a lap? Josh Adomu is on a lap. You said he might get the pole position. He picked it up in esports. Can he pick it up right at the depth here? He's currently 7th quickest. He's gone a quicker lap. Josh Adomu for the line. Is he on pole? No, he goes 3rd quickest. Not quite enough. His teammate Kedon Lutt is on a lap now. What can he do? He's 10th. He stays 10th at the minute, so it's not working out for him either. Simon Vagang, he's invalidated his latest run. It won't happen for him. Nicolas Longuet is 2 tenths down through the first sector, so it's not working out for him either. I think that is the end of qualifying, unless Stachulek's on a lap. He is not. So Nicolas Longuet has taken pole position with a 1 minute 21.376.
Got to be happy about that one. He took pole, of course, in Piaciel earlier this week in Britain. He's hopped on a plane to Italy, and he's done the exact same thing. Really impressive from Nicolas Longuet. We'll see if he can convert that in the race. It is really difficult to overtake around this circuit as well. So I'd imagine that he's going to put himself in strong stead coming to this race. He pulls into the pit lane now to get that Alfa Romeo serviced. We might have a bit of a wait actually, because Stahalek's just through Ravazza now, and he's adamant on bringing the car in. And which drivers, instead of coming into the pit lane, they just take the checkered flag, because that would instantly end their qualifying, but he's into the pit lane. So that sees us to the end of Q3. Now we've got a whole race of fun in store.
Yep, very exciting ahead then. Nicolas Longuet gets the job done, puts it on pole. My pick for pole does it. 121.376 ahead of Tomek Parajic, who joins him on the front row. Josh Adomu almost got the job done, Dan. He was right up the front. He likes it round here, as you touched on earlier. And it's just 0.5 tenth away in P3. So very exciting setup for the race ahead in these intermediate conditions. I wonder what kind of weather we will have for the race coming up very, very shortly. But yeah, that is the end of qualifying, and there is your top 10. Nicolas Longuet, the Frenchman, has done the business here in qualifying. He's on pole for the second race of the season. It was Ogildrum last week at Spa. It's Longuet this week, and by 4/100ths of a second, he beats Tomek Parajic to top spot. Josh Adomu in 3rd. The Welshman doing a fine job. Shanaka Clay in 4th for Aston Martin. Ulas Ogildrum at P5 in the Haas. Piotr Stachulek, he's in 6th. And Alvaro Carrichon is 7th. Simon Vagang finishes the session in 8th. Jake Benham, he'll be very disappointed to be down in P9. And Kedon Lutt just didn't fancy it in the wet conditions. He ends the qualifying session in P10. So, who for you, Dan, was the pick of qualifying? Who surprised you the most? It was a really good session, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something special, really. Of course, the gap between Tomek Parajic and Josh Adomu was 3,000 of a second there. So it was really, really tight stuff through qualifying. I'm not too sure who I'm really impressed by. I think everyone did perform to expectation. But I'm interested to see where the likes of Jake Benham, actually. I think I'm interested to see where he ends up in this race. You know, starting down in 9th. It's unfamiliar territory for Jake Benham. I think he started 3rd last week, so he's got to get himself in gear if he wants to redeem what happened last week in Belgium.
Yeah, well, let's see if he can do that from down in 9th place. Remember, last week in Belgium, if you're just tuning in, folks, you didn't see it last week, he was disqualified while leading the race for overtaking the safety car. A massive blunder from him. What can he do from 9th place? But we are moments away, folks, from the start of the formation lap. It's about to begin the second race of the season. Coming to you live in a few moments' time. It's the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, round 2 here in WOR. Well then, here it is. Round 2 of the season here at Imola and WOR. We're about to get underway around this wonderful Imola circuit. The Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix takes host for round 2 of the season, and what a brilliant venue it is. There was 2 new WOR Tier 1 winners last season at Imola, Emilia-Romagna and Ethan Critchley on Xbox. Well, let's take a look at this racetrack. 3 miles or 5 kilometres, whatever you prefer, 19 turns and 1 DRS zone down that long straight on the charge to turn 1. The barrier's very, very close by as well. Very easy to make a mistake across these unforgiving curves and stick it in the barrier. And there you go, folks, round 2 of the season. Romanides and Critch, the previous winners on PC and Xbox. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Here's one from Tier 2 on Xbox. 3 wide into Ravazza 1 on the final lap of the race. Will we get any drama like that tonight? I wonder if we will. And PSR Boots coming off worst and going for a spin down at the final corner. What a finish to that race. And what about this one? Antoine Desilewski in a big battle with Floris Viers, battling through down towards the Villeneuve chicane. Difficult place to overtake. They did collide, and Floris Viers goes into the fence and ends his Grand Prix. A circuit with plenty of drama, and I'm sure we'll see more drama tonight then. Let's jump into the action on this formation lap. Nicolas Longuet then on pole position. Let's take this opportunity, folks, to have a look at the tyre compounds then that everyone is on. We know that the top 10 have to start on the tyre that they qualified on, and everyone outside the top 10 can pick their own tyre choice. And interestingly, the majority of drivers have opted for the soft. Does that maybe tell us something about the weather, Dan?
Yeah, it's looking particularly cloudy out on circuit, so possible. There could be some rain at some point here, but I'm not too sure. We'll just have to wait and see, as all these drivers know is that they've just got to stick with whatever conditions they've got. They've got to make the most of it. I think I've got to just step away for 1 minute. I should be back within just 1 moment, but I think I'm being shouted at just quickly.
No problem. Absolutely no problem then. 32 laps ahead then off the drivers. Let us know in the chat, folks, who you are going for to pick up the victory here tonight. It is round 2 of the season here in WOR on PC. The win came for Danny Beresnay last week. He's not with us tonight. Nicolas Longuet then is going to line up on the front row of the grid. There's the predicted pit stop strategy. Soft to hard, or a 2-stop, soft, and then to medium. So onto the front row goes Nicolas Longuet. Lining up alongside him goes Tomek Parages as the field now move into position. It's quite a long run down to that first braking zone of the Tamborel chicane. Think back to Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, as we spoke about at the top of the show. They were battling like crazy into that first corner. What kind of drama are we going to see here tonight as the final few cars move themselves into the grid positions and we can get ready for the start of this Grand Prix? The lights will be moments away as they're now all in position on the grid. And now we wait for those 5 red lights, and when they go out, we'll be racing here at Imola for round 2 of the season. Lights go out and we're racing in Italy. It looks like a really good start from Tomek Parages as he tries to pull alongside Longuet on the run down to turn 1. Longuet still holds his lead as they go through that first corner now and into the Tamborel chicane. Looks like Longuet's holding his line and he stays in front of Parages second and Joshua Domu third as they all funnel their way through that first chicane and on down towards the Villeneuve chicane now. Still Longuet in the lead. Parages second and Joshua Domu in third. It looks like a very clean start from everyone, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone has managed to get out unscathed, but moves are being made down at Tosa. Alvaro Carrichon and Jake Benham are running wheel to wheel up towards Piratella. I think Jake Benham has to back out as he's not far alongside on the inside at that corner. But Nicolas Longuet, what a start from him, leading away from Tomek Parages, who looked like he was trying to have a challenge on the Alfa Romeo car, but it was not meant to be, as more battles still looking like they are underway here as Jake Benham all over the back of Alvaro Carrichon at the moment in that Williams car, but he's had a bad run through Variante Alta. And as we're beginning to end the first lap of this race, Nicolas Longuet leading from Tomek Parages, but of course in a few laps time DRS will be enabled.
Yeah, Parages really pushing Nicolas Longuet along at the start of this Grand Prix then. No DRS yet. That will not come till lap 3 of this Grand Prix, and already Longuet moving along to that pit wall to maybe block any potential move from Parages as they cross the line at the end of the first lap. 32 laps coming your way here in round 2 of the championship, and into the first corner. Not quite close enough for a move there was Tomek Parages as they make their way through the first corner. We've got 4 drivers on the medium compound. John Evans, Louis Welsh, Sam Corby and Primoz Miklevsic have all picked up the medium compound. Everyone else in the field has gone for the softs, and we've got some really close racing further down the field. Look at this, Ruben Pedreño, Jeffrey Ritchie all scrambling, and is that a move there? Look at that, Pedreño trying down the inside of Kieran Lutt, and that looked like a late move from Lutt, and that was nearly damage between the two on the run down into Tosa. That was very close, Dan.
Yeah, they just about avoided contact there, but Kieran Lutt with a good run through there, and he's managed to keep that position ahead of Ruben Pedreño on lap number 2 of this Grand Prix. I was watching at the front of the order what they're all looking like, and I think Tomek Paragic is going to have a sniff down in towards the first corner at the back of Nicolas Longuet, because look at them down out of the exit of the Variante chicane and into Variante outer chicane and in towards Ravazza 1 and 2. DRS will be enabled next time by, so he's not going to have any helping of that in towards the first corner. It's got to be raw engine power for these drivers, but I think he's had a bad run out of the exit there. He's not going to be able to challenge onto the rear of the Frenchman who sets the fastest lap. That's going to be swiftly taken by Shanaka Clay, who's looking like he's going really quick down the straight up towards Josh Idowu in towards the Tamburello chicane as he tries to have a sniff up the inside, have a half look, but no, there was no opportunity to go for the move. But lap number 3 now, DRS has been enabled. Yeah, DRS enabled. Meanwhile, there's been a move further down the order and a spin further down the order. That's Tom Martinez and Jack West coming together. Tom Martinez back on the racetrack, spin down at Tamburello, round he goes, and that's a damaging spin for Tom Martinez's race. We just came to it late, but when we did come to it, facing the wrong way was Tom Martinez, and into the gravel he went. He drops to the rear of the field as Shanaka Clay is beginning to move into range behind Josh Idowu. Both he and Tomek Paragic in that front 4 looking very menacing as things stand. As we move on to lap 3, pretty soon that DRS is going to be in use for Tomek Paragic then as they come through the Variante Alta once again. And he's right up behind the back of Nicolas Longuet, and I think we might see a move soon. Josh Idowu struggling to keep pace with the front 2 at the minute, dropping off to the tune of 0.7 of a second, which is a bit alarming at this stage of the Grand Prix. But Paragic, with the bit between his teeth, the Polish driver, fancies his chances of getting ahead of Nicolas Longuet. Going down the straight then, here comes the driver, and we've got some rain coming down on the camera here. It's starting to rain, but never mind that. Paragic is going for the move at the start of lap 4. Down the inside he goes on Nicolas Longuet, and he takes the lead as the rain begins to fall here at Imola, and once again WOR is plagued by the wet weather. Again, interchangeable conditions for the 3rd time in this session. Of course, we saw it twice in qualifying. Now we could be seeing it in the race as Tomek Paragic, he saw the opportunity early to go for the move on Nicolas Longuet. And if these wet weather conditions pick up quickly, we're not going to be seeing too much DRS in this race. So that leaves Nicolas Longuet with a bit of a fire in his heart and a bit of a desire to get back past Tomek Paragic, but already he is struggling to keep up with the pole in the Alpine, and that could turn the attention to Idowu and Clay behind, because both of these guys are closing to the rear of the Alfa Romeo, and we could see some tasty stuff from them as here they go out of the Variante outer chicane. Shanaka Clay is within 0.3 of Josh Idowu's McLaren car. We'll see what they can perform as in towards Ravazza 1 and 2, the top 4 led by Tomek Paragic. All 3 of these guys could be onto the podium as here they come onto the start finish straight. I think Shanaka Clay already sees an opportunity to close to the rear of Josh Idowu. It's Mercedes power against Mercedes power, but he's not close enough. Idowu with the healthy dose of the DRS. Can Clay go up the inside in towards Tamburello? No, he can't, but he takes a wide line off the exit, and maybe he's challenging in towards Villeneuve as he gets to the superior run. Here he comes down in towards the chicane at turn number 5 and 6 up the inside. Shanaka Clay, spectacular stuff from the Aston Martin car into P3 and ahead of Josh Idowu on lap number 5.
Oh, brilliant stuff. We saw in our little preview clip moments ago that it doesn't always work down there with Flores going into the barrier, but it worked between those two. Shanaka Clay, brave as you like, he knows contact there would ruin his race, especially as it starts to rain here in the slippery conditions. Sticks one up the inside of Idowu. It's a classy move. It could be move of the race, and he moves up into 3rd position ahead of the Welshman. Great stuff from Shanaka Clay. Through he goes. Next up on his radar, Nicolas Longuet. That was absolutely epic stuff from Shanaka Clay. Gets it done, and through he goes on lap 5 out of 32. The big question now then is, rain falling, What do you think? Are we going to see drivers cautious again about pitting? There was certainly no caution last week. They were all boxing straight away for a set of inters. I think they might have learnt their lesson and might be a bit more cautious this time round, Dan. As, hold on a minute, Stachulek is very close behind Adobo, and Adobo is really up against it at the minute, really struggling for pace, and Stachulek is now right in position. 2 poles at the minute in the top 5. Stachulek at the back of that 5, Tomic at the front as they go through. And onto the Villeneuve chicane. Is Stachulek close enough? No, he's not. He'll stay behind at the minute and in 5th place as the rain continues to fall, and you can start to see them struggling a little bit for some grip.
These drivers are beginning to feel the trouble, and already Tom Martinez, the first driver in the pit lane. He's way down the order anyways. He's got nothing to lose. He comes into the pit lane, straps on a set of the intermediate tyres, and we'll see how the conditions fare for him. We've got to watch the gap between himself and Sam Corby as Luke Smith, I think, has just snuck up the inside of Simon Weigang through Piratella corner. So he's done that really nicely into 9th position. Further back behind is Pierre Stachulek has gone past Adobu here.
Yeah, he's got the move done. There was 2 tenths between them coming out of Aqua Minerale. We just cut to it now, and he's got the job done. Moves himself up into 4th position. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2, and that's because Sam Corby is round on the medium tyre. He's gone for a spin. Are they starting to aquaplane out there? Sam Corby off and round, and is that going to trigger a few cars into the pit lane? Let's see if anyone fancies it. Look at Longuet sliding the rear of the car, and yes, they are all pouring in. Parages is in, Longuet's in, Clay's in, everybody into the pits then at the start of lap number 7. Everybody in except Simon Weigang, Ruben Pedreño. They're going on for yet another lap then. So some drivers in, some carrying on. Very interesting.
Yeah, DRS has been disabled now, and those drivers had to stay out because, of course, double stacking would have lost them a lot more time. So everyone now onto a set of the intermediate tyres. And, well, the weather conditions have changed already as they're all filing out of the pit lane. And they're going to be bunched up together. I think everyone has managed to maintain what position they were in coming into the pit lane. But now it adds an extra element to what already was looking to be a fantastic WOR race. And I've already seen Nicolas Longuet losing a lot of time to Shanaka Clay. He slid off the exit of turn number 2 at turn number 4 at Tamburello, so he could be in a tricky position, is Nicolas Longuet.
Yeah, and look at the difference here. Look at this for the lead of the race. Weigang and Pedreño, they're both struggling for grip out there, and looks like Pedreño's got ahead of him going into the braking zone, but he's gone straight off. Look at that. It's so tricky out there. Off the track he goes. They're all aquaplaning like crazy, the guys out there on the wrong tyres. Look at them. They can barely keep it on the road. Let's ride on board here with Jack West as they go down into the braking zone. Are they going to get it stopped? Pedreño nearly runs into the back of Weigang, and they're all tippy-toeing their way round the final couple of corners. Tomic Parages has almost caught this group already as they come round the final corner, slipping and sliding their way into the pit lane. And look at this, Jack West almost overtaking Kieran Lutt on the way in. Drama at the start of this Grand Prix, and these guys' races have been ruined. Parages will regain the lead.
Really polarizing of what we saw last week. The rain has come thick and fast, but last week, of course, it took a good few laps to even start falling properly, and even then it was never intermediate conditions. It's turned in about, what, 1 or 2 laps? We were in complete dry conditions, and it has already shifted into the intermediates as I think Ulash Zildrim onto the rear of Josh Adowu, who's really feeling his troubles in this race, but Ulash Zildrim almost spinning off the exit of turn number 4 into the Villeneuve chicane. They go. Possible moves up the inside at Tosa. Sam Corby, unfortunately, out of this race in the pit lane. So that is our first DNF of the day, but we won't see any safety car come out for it as the top, as 5th, 6th, and 7th of Idowu, Zildrim, and Carrichon. They all maintain their positions through Piratella. We could see some tasty battling between these guys.
Yeah, 0-0 for Sam Corby. Podium last week, P2, but it's a rude awakening to WOR Tier 1 in week 2. He drops out of the race as the first retiree. And who was that going by? Was that Alvaro Carrichon? I think it was. And Benham almost pulls alongside him and almost gets shoved onto the grass there as he went for the move. Carrichon was wide into Aqua Minerale. We've got a yellow flag out there. Oh, it's just the retired car of Sam Corby, that's all it is. But Jake Benham very close to making a move there. Couldn't quite make it work on Carrichon. He ran wide, did Carrichon, but Benham unable to pounce. But this certainly looks like the best battle on track. Adowu, Zildrim, Carrichon and Benham as McClavsic picks up a penalty. There's a few drivers out there with them already. 3 of them outside the from 15th downwards because they were all on the wrong tyres, skipping across chicanes. It was a bit of a harsh penalty, but sometimes that can happen And that's the nature of the beast. As we're on board with Jake Benham behind Alvaro Carrichon. Not quite close enough for a move, but you've got to see, you've got to be a bit disappointed with Josh Adowu so far. Penalty picked up and been overtaken a couple of times. He's not enjoying it out there, is he?
And he's 2 seconds back from the top 4 at the moment, who are running away with it in this Grand Prix. Could be seen as a bit of a roadblock to Bazildrim and Carrichon, but then again, he is holding his own. It is difficult to follow and make overtakes in the wet weather conditions, and it is also difficult to use your battery effectively. It's a lot weaker in these kind of conditions. So overall, I guess wet races, I'll say, more challenging for the drivers. As again, I just saw Adowu run wide at Aqua Minerale. He is struggling in that McLaren, but I think he might gain some time out the exit there, because he is now within 2 seconds of Stahelec. We'll just have to see what the fate is for the Welshman. He's having an up and down race so far, but he's still in 5th with a penalty to his name. That will drop him down the order as they're beginning lap number 10 now. Tomek Paradzis still leading from Nicolas Longue at a comfortable 1.1 seconds.
Yeah, Paradzis was really quick out of the blocks at the start of the race, straight onto the tail of Longue, got the move done as the rain started to fall, and has extended that above 1 second now in the damp conditions, so fair play to him. He's driving very well. Louis Welch, meanwhile, further down the order, is battling away with Ruben Pedreño, and he's right behind him at the minute. Pedreño, I think, has just gone past him, but Louis Welch is now going to try and come straight back at him down the straight towards turn 1. He's going to go to the outside line. Don't do a Bottas and Russell, folks. He's going to get squeezed right to the edge of the circuit. Can Welch get the move done? No, he can't. He's not close enough. And, running wide, there's Pedreño. This might give Welch the slingshot he needs. This in the battle for 13th place. Action everywhere in the order. He squeezes him right out to the edge of the circuit, into the braking zone. Oh, so close. And Pedreño stays ahead, but only just. Here comes Welch now, round the outside into Tosa. Can he get it done? No, he can't. Braking later was Pedreño. He's going to switch back on the exit, though. The Padman makes his move, and it's an excellent piece of driving from Louis Welch in this ding-dong battle. He gets back ahead of Pedreño in the fight for P13. Great racing, Dan.
That was spectacular from Louis Welch. He caught Pedreño napping off the exit of turn number 7, Tosa corner, and Pedreño really had no answer, but Welch has gone deep off the exit of Aqua Minerale, and at turn number 10 up towards the Variante Alta. I think Pedreño could come right back at the Alpha Tauri car, because off the exit of the chicane, he's now right pressed up against the rear of that Honda powered car. Here they go now into Rivazza. I'm not too sure if anyone's going to be close enough to make a move.
Yeah, it was absolutely epic though, wasn't it? Great fighting between the two. Some of the best battling we've seen in this race so far. Really enjoyed it. Is Alvaro Carrichon further up the road, close enough to O'Zeldrin for a move? No, he's 3.5 tenths back, and he'll stay there. Let's go back to Pedreño and Welch, who've been giving us some great entertainment so far as they make their way across the start-finish line. Is he going to be close enough? No, he's not. It's all settled down further down the order, and no moves being made. But Alvaro Carrichon at the minute, right up behind Ulas O'Zeldrin. And Josh Adowu, to be fair to him, he steadied the ship. He stretched the gap out to 1 second over O'Zeldrin, and now it's O'Zeldrin that's beginning to struggle behind Carrichon, in front of Carrichon, sorry.
Yeah, and O'Zeldrin not going to have that slipstream down the straights that he would have got if Josh Adowu was right behind him. So he could struggle in comparison to the Williams driver, and he's close enough down in towards the first corner. I have no doubt in my mind that Carrichon will go for the move, but the wet weather conditions are still laying it on thick at the moment. I don't think a dry line is forming whatsoever, so there is no letting up in this relenting rain. We could possibly see some wet tyres later on in this race. Alvaro Carrichon not looking like he's all that close to the rear of Ulas O'Zeldrin. I don't think he'll get the run through of Atsa.
Tell you who is close. These two are at it again. Look at this. Pedreño and Louis Welch very, very close again. Is Pedreño going to stick one up the inside into Rivazza 1? Doesn't look like it. I could just tell you what, I could watch these two race all afternoon. Really enjoying the action from these two as Louis Welch picks up a 3-second time penalty under that pressure from Pedreño. Round the final corner they go, across the start-finish line to begin lap number 12 for these drivers. Is he going to be close enough on the run to that first corner? Doesn't look like it. Louis Welch pulling clear a bit down the straight, just when I thought we were going to see a move. So yeah, drops back off the tail of him, and he stays in 14th place. Oh, what a shame. I was enjoying that, but look how much quicker Pedreño was into the first chicane. Welch really struggling there, and Pedreño is now right on his tail. Can Pedreño make the move into Villeneuve? No, he won't, but he might be able to set one up and launch one up the inside, potentially into Tosa. Here goes Pedreño. Is he close enough? No, he's not. He's still stuck behind Louis Welch, the pad man, under pressure. I wonder if he's carrying damage because he's been slow in some of the high-speed corners, hasn't he?
It's not looking all that good for Louis Welch at the moment. He's 4.6 seconds behind Simon Weigang, so there is great disparity in the pace of some of these drivers at the moment. Pedreño could be looking to try and take back that position she lost just 1 lap ago, 1 or 2 laps ago. And you already see up towards Variante Alta, it's about 2 tenths behind the Alpha Tauri car, and you see he's got a lot more confidence on the curves, but he's compromised his exit by taking such high speeds through the first part of the chicane. However, 3 tenths behind the Alpha Tauri, I think the Haas car of Rune Pedreño could look to make an opportunity as they're going to come out of Ravazza 2 onto the start-finish straight. When no DRS is to be utilised, as actually at the front of the order, Carrichon and Azildrum have made a move. I think Azildrum's gone by.
Yeah,
he's been overtaken.
No, he's been overtaken. Carrichon's got it done. Sorry we missed that, folks. But yes, Jonas Azildrum has been overtaken, and the move is done. Through he goes, up into 6th place. Carrichon can now chase after Josh Adowu. So good move there. Unseen by us, by Alvaro Carrichon, gets it done on Azildrum and moves up the order. We've been keeping an eye on the great battle further down the order, and we're going to pick it up again from the on-board camera of Caden Lutt as he keeps an eye on Louis Welch and Ruben Pedreño just in front, and Louis Welch definitely struggling. I presume he's got front wing damage. It's not often he's this slow. He's losing around a second a lap to Simon Weigang, and at the minute he's absolutely destroying the races of everyone behind him and their chances of World Championship points, unless there's a safety car at some point in this Grand Prix, really starting to hold this group of drivers up. But Welsh, he's just holding his own, he's keeping his cool, and at the minute fending off these drivers. Look at him moving across the circuit to just try and break that toe ever so slightly. Pedreño right behind him. We've got the McLaren of Kieran Lutt, you've got Jack West, John Evans, all in that group at the minute, and John Evans really having a frustrating start to 2022. All his focus has been on challengers up till now. League racing has gone onto the back burner, and it's showing as Louis Welch runs deep, and now Pedreño's got the chance to go through into Ravazza 1. An error there from Louis Welch, and the job is done, or is it? Because here comes Louis Welch again down the straight. He's going to go wheel to wheel again with Pedreño. These two have been excellent so far. Real excitement between the pair. Can Welch get alongside as they run down towards turn 1? He switches back to the inside, but Pedreño this time has got the job done, and he's through. And now Welsh will have to turn his attentions to Keaton Lutt, who's also right behind him and fancies a move. Pedreño is free at last.
Yeah, well, he's finally got through there. An error from Louis Welch, and that could put him on the back foot as Stahelet gets a penalty here. That could be compromising to his race by the end of it. He's in 4th position, 2.2 seconds back from Shanaka Clay, and Josh Adowu slowly but surely is reeling him in. But how about that from Rune Pedreño? Managed to get through on Louis Welch. Louis Welch tried to come back at him, then he overcommitted into turn number 1, and now he's got Keaton Lutt for company in behind him. He's off the exit of Aqua Minerali. The McLaren car looking like he is he's racy at the moment on the rear of the Alpha Tower. He goes deep. Oh, contact. He goes just he misses the braking point there. Goes into the back of Louis Welch. Might have some slight damage to that front wing, but it is nothing visual, so he's going to continue on here. Jack West to the outside of Ravazza 1. Can he go around the outside? No room at the end. The door completely closes on him, and that allows John Evans to slip right through up the inside. And Louis Welch's first button.
Louis Welch into a spin. What a disaster for Louis Welch. He'd been fending them off so well, but he spins out of contention now, and now we can see them all making their way across the start-finish line to begin another lap. Tom Martinez has caught the back of this train, but what a fight in the lower points in the minute as we see the retirement then of Louis Welch in the pits. That's both Alpha Tauris out of this race. It's been a disastrous race for both of them. They were down at the back in qualifying, and they're the first two out of the race, but Louis Welch going for a spin there as all sorts of drama was taking place down at Ravazza 1 and 2. Very similar to Tier 2 Xbox, the little clip we saw in the intro from the final lap in that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, history does repeat itself like a ripple. This time it's in PC Tier 1. I think gaps are beginning to form a little bit at the back of this train though. Rune Pedreño has managed to slip up the road by 1.6 seconds ahead of Keaton Lutt, who goes deep into Aqua Minerali. John Evans sneaks up the inside. Thank you very much. Off the exit of the corner, they're going to be wheel to wheel, but John Evans, he's got the momentum to muster them out really. And towards the Variante Alta. Keaton Lutt with a slight error costs him P14 in this Grand Prix, but he's going to be up the rear of John Evans, who slowly but surely sides his way through this pack. He's overtaken Jack West on the inside of Ravazza 1. Now he's gone past Keaton Lutt, and Rune Pedreño is going to be next on his agenda. But I'm not too sure if we're going to be seeing any moves here.
Yeah, I wonder if we will as they come across the line to start yet another lap. But it's all been the action down at the back. Let's see if Kieran Lutt is close enough. Here he comes onto the back of John Evans, looks to the left, then goes to the right. He's going to try and go around the outside of Evans, who goes deep into the corner, runs across the runoff area, and over the rumble strips he goes. That almost damaged his car. Through goes Lutt, and now wheel to wheel with Jack West they go. Incredible stuff, and Jack West is through, up into 15th place. All that hard work from John Evans has been undone, and now Tom Martinez is going to go round the outside of John Evans. John Evans in real danger here, as round the outside goes Martinez. That would be absolutely epic from Tom Martinez. He's shot his car and nose ahead. They're going to go side by side into the braking zone, into turn 9. Evans on the inside, Martinez on the outside. It's absolutely epic racing between them, and Evans just about holds on against Tom Martinez. That was sensational stuff.
Yeah, that was great mutual respect from both drivers there. Anyone else probably would have crashed. But these two, I know that they like to hang out in Discord calls and practice together every so often, and they've given each other the mutual respect that they deserve, and so that is wonderful to see. As I think that could spell an end to the battling, but I said that last time. John Evans lost a few positions, so we'll see what the fate is for Kieran Lutt, as Jack West is closing to the rear of the McLaren, but I just don't think 6/10 is enough of a gap to pull up. As one thing I'm noticing, Andy, I don't know if this is the same on your screen, I'm not seeing any more rain here.
I wonder, is it starting to dry out here at Imola? Maybe it is. Maybe we'll see dry tyres back on these cars shortly. It's been a very interesting weekend weather-wise. We've had rain, and then it drying up in qualifying, then back to rain for Q3, and now we've had dry, then rain, and now back to dry again. So it's all happening here, as is the action in the bottom half of the order. It's a rare opportunity for us to watch the action in the bottom half. Always priority goes to the front, but it's a bit processional up there. But thankfully these guys down in towards the bottom half of the order have given us plenty of excitement, so thank you to those guys down at the bottom. But you're right, Dan, it is starting to dry up at the minute, and maybe we will see a set of slick tyres going on pretty soon, so this race takes another twist.
And that will put everyone on a set of the dry tyres, and imagine we'll see the mediums. But I'm not too sure about the tyre life. I think actually maybe softs can go 12 laps around here. Here's Josh Adowu. He bites the bullet early. He's coming into the pit lane when it still looks like it's wet on circuit. Jake Benham follows him in as well. So we'll see if anyone else decides to take the gamble. It's medium tyres on for both Josh Adowu and Jake Benham here, as they're going to come out of the pit lane. Ruben Pedreño got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane there. Keen Lutt stays out another lap, so all these guys at the back, they're fitting on a set of the medium tyres, and if the crossover point is now, they're going to be in strong stead at the end of this race.
Yeah, well, everyone outside the top 10 pretty much into the pits, so maybe this was the lap. Here goes Josh Adowu then out of the pits. Let's keep an eye on him into turn 1. Is he going to get the car stopped? Oh, it's not dry at all. He's losing so much time to McLaren. It's very, very early. Is any of the leaders going to come in on this lap? Let's see if that triggers them into the pits, because I've seen so many others come in. Let's see then. Josh Adowu in the first sector has lost nearly 3 seconds to McLaren. You can see that timing ladder on the left-hand side. 8.4 between the two. 8.5, 8.6, going up and up and up for those guys on those tyres at the minute. Let's keep an eye then on the race leader, Tomek Perazes. Is he going to come into the pits? Is he going to be influenced by what he's seen from others going on to medium tyres? That would be a big mistake if he does. He stays out. Will that maybe invite Longuet into the pits? I don't think so. No, they're all staying out at the front of the field. These guys have got more to lose than the others behind. Carrichon, meanwhile, he carries on. They're all carrying on by the looks of it. I don't think any of them fancy a set of dry tyres just yet. Let's have a look at Simon Weigang. He's coming in. He's coming in. So Simon Weigang in for a set of medium tyres then. Interesting stuff. Josh Adowu on this lap has lost nearly 7 seconds.
It's not time at all at the moment. Simon Weigand's gone for the soft compounder tyre. So we'll see how that affects his race. He's just about to exit the pit lane now. I'd imagine it's 1 or 2 more laps, and that's the golden point. I don't think it is dry conditions just yet, but the medium tyres have been strapped on for Adowu, Benham, Pedreño, West, Evans and Martinez. The bottom 4 of those drivers all were outside the top 10 with a lot less to lose, but they took the risk early on, as Simon Weigand's been jumped by Adowu. But already, I think the Aston Martin, he's got quite a bit of confidence in that car. As John Evans into the pit lane, he's out of this race, he's retired. He's called it a day here. I think he knows he's made a mistake with that gamble.
Yeah, looks like Inters and, Alpha Tauris and Red Bulls dropping out of the race for fun here. The only one left is Liam Parnell in 9th position at the minute as we keep an eye on Shanaka Clay. He's getting closer to the back of Nicholas Longue, and that's an early stop from Tomek Paradzis. Now, is that too early? Is that too early? I think it is. Has he thrown away a potential victory here? Longue stays out, Clay stays out. Has he got this right or has he got it wrong, the Polish driver? Medium tyres going on. I'm looking at the gap between Adowu and Miklavsic. It's still going up, but not by much. Oh, it's right on the bubble. It's right on the cusp. Is this the right lap or not? Time still being lost by Adowu. Has Paradzis blown his chance of winning this Grand Prix, Dan?
I don't know what Tomek's really thinking here. I still think it's 1 or 2 laps adrift as he's going to come out also crucially behind Keaton Lutz. So that's going to be another dampener in this race. DRS no has been enabled. That's going to give everyone down that main straight. If you're within 1 second of the car in front, you're going to get that tow as Simon Weigang clears Josh Adowu. I think now's the time, surely, when you get that message, it is typically time to come into the pits and strap on a dry set of the tyres. But Tomek Paradzis isn't able to close to Keaton Lutz. I still think they are adrift from the dry conditions, Andy.
Oh, it's right on the cusp. He's now gaining now. He's now starting to catch him. Maybe now he's getting him. Is Nicholas Longue going to pull off the overcut or not? It is right on the bubble here. This is the race right here for Paradzis and Longue and Shanaka Clay. What is going to happen? Surely Longue will be in this time round. He is! He is in! This is the race then for Nicholas Longue. Can he make the right change? Has he made the right time to make the stop? They're all coming in now. Was it a lap too early from his rival, or was it the right lap for Paradzis? We're going to find out now. Needs to be a good stop for the Alfa Romeo. Into the box he goes and he pulls away. We need to pick up Tomek Paradzis. Here he is now. He's still stuck behind Keaton Lutz. But this is it then. Across the line. Keep an eye on the right hand side. Is Longue going to be in front, or is Paradzis still in the lead of this race? Look to the right hand side. Paradzis just stays ahead of Longue. It's worked out for him. He has not thrown away the race, and the gap has actually gone up. He's played it right.
But of course, you got to consider that Longue is on a set of the softs, Paradzis on the mediums. So in these interchangeable conditions, you tend to want to be on the red striped soft tyre. So Nicholas Longue, he's got 1.7 seconds to catch from Paradzis as Josh Adowu, another dampener to his race. He's taken a 3-second time penalty. I think he's lost a few positions by pitting so early in this Grand Prix. He's got Liam Parnell breathing down his neck, but already Nicholas Longue's gained about, what, 5/10 on the Polish driver in through Aqua Minerale. We'll see off the exit up towards Variante Alta.
Sorry, Jeffrey Ritchie. Sorry, I thought he was going to go up the inside there of Liam Parnell into turn 9. He couldn't quite do it, but yeah, Longue closing in, Dan, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Nicholas Longue is 1.2 seconds adrift from Paradzis, so I don't think he'll be close enough to go up the inside into towards turn number 1. I actually don't think he's been able to drop within a second of the Alpine. No, he's not. So he's not going to get DRS this time by. But surely Nicholas Longue just got one move to do, and it's going to be the win for him. As Jeffrey Ritchie, I think now he could go for the move. No.
Well, he's very, very close though. The DRS is active, so it won't be an easy move on Parnell because he will have the DRS to Adowu, so Adowu could be a sitting duck here. Jeffrey Ritchie though, not hanging around. He pulls alongside down the straight, and he is easily going to breeze past him and up into 9th place. So 2 points, 1 point becomes 2 points as he takes that 9th place away. Parnell, can he come back on the braking zone? No, he can't. He stays where he is. But the story now is at the very front of this race, Paradzis on the mediums being reeled in by Longue and Clay, and you feel they need to make that move now as Keaton Lutz retires from this Grand Prix.
Absolutely, it might be now or never for Nicholas Longue because he's also got Shanaka Clay following in behind as they climb up the hill on the run up towards the Variante Alta chicane. Tomek Paradzis has led this race since about the 3rd lap of this Grand Prix when he went up the inside at turn number 1 of Nicholas Longue. I think Longue could try and repay the favour. Shanaka Clay is going to try and want to get a punch in here, as here they go through Ravazza 1 and 2. 3/10 is the gap between Longue and Paradzis. Paradzis on the back foot here, off the exit of the final corner. The superior grip of the soft compounder tyre is going to be working well for the Frenchman. Here they go now down the main straight. Paradzis going to be using up his battery, trying to defend from Longue, but it might be futile because in towards the first corner. No, he backs off here as Clay tries to get a nose in. They all remain 1, 2, and 3. Paragic, Longuet, and Clay, but possibly in towards the Villeneuve chicane. We could see a move being made. No, Nicolas Longuet, he is waiting for as long as he can here.
Yeah, Longuet playing it long. How unsurprising is that as he lives up to his name? Let's see what he can do then. We've got 9 laps to go here in this fantastic race at Imola. It was a slow burner at the front. It was all happening down at the bottom half of the order, but now it's really starting to hot up. Can Tomek Paragic hold them off here at Imola on the medium tyre? It looked like it was his race to lose. The rain came down. He got to the gap on Nicolas Longuet and he was holding it at around 1.3, 1.4 seconds. He then pitted early, but fitted the medium tyre. Maybe he should have put on the softs. Now he's under serious pressure of throwing away the victory or losing the victory to drivers on quicker soft tyres. Piotr Stachulek has joined the front three in battle, but he does crucially have a time penalty as Paragic has found a second wind on this lap and extended the gap out to 5:10. So it'll be very tough for Longuet to make the move on this particular lap. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near close enough as they come across the line to start another lap. Maybe Shinaka Clay is going to be the man to watch going down towards turn 1. Is he going to be close enough for the move? Here they come, getting closer. Is Longuet? He might even try it into the first corner. He can't, as the front three are separated by 3/10 going through that first turn. This is epic, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Nicolas Longuet is trying to save up his tyres as much as he can so he can attack Paragic on the final lap in towards the first corner. But that doesn't mean he's immune because, of course, Shinaka Clay is following him behind and up through Tosa. Wow, he was right onto the rear of the Alfa Romeo car as they fly up towards Piratella, the blind crest, which slowly becomes the downhill left-hander up towards Acqua Minerale. Can we see the top 4 battle it out on lap number 25 coming up next? Still got lap 24 to complete as they cross into the final sector. A bad run from Clay Stachulek is closing to the rear of the Aston Martin car and through the Variante Alta chicane. He's right onto the rear of the Aston Martin car. Here they go though, in towards Ravazza 1 and 2 for the 24th time out of 32. Nicolas Longuet is 2/10 closer than he was last lap by. Here they go off the exit of the final corner. Longuet's using some of his battery and opens up the DRS, the drag reduction system, to give him that extra bit of top speed. Here he comes down the straight. He pulls to the left-hand side. He draws alongside of Tomek Paragic into the braking zone at Tamburello chicane. He's made the move stick. Tomek Paragic couldn't do much about that, but off the exit of the corner, here he goes, possibly in towards Villeneuve as he has to look up the inside. No, he can't. But Nicolas Longuet makes the move stick and Clay in behind. Might not want to lose the Alfa Romeo car. He has to stay in behind Paragic, but there was the move for Nicolas Longuet on lap 25.
Yeah, it was coming and it finally arrives. Nicolas Longuet gets it done into the lead of this race. And as you say, Shinaka Clay really does need to get a move on and follow him through quickly. He doesn't want to lose DRS territory to Nicolas Longuet because he is his main rival for victory here this afternoon. Well then, Tomek Paragic is now the meat in the middle of the sandwich here. He's the blockade helping Nicolas Longuet rather than hindering him now because Shinaka Clay and Stachulek will want to get that move done pretty quickly indeed. So, Shinaka Clay, can he get that move done on Paragic right now then? As they go into Ravazza 1 and onto Ravazza 2, Paragic, he'll do well to get back at Longuet from there. It will be hard. He's going to have to turn his attention into his mirror where Shinaka Clay is lying in wait as they come across the start-finish line to start another lap. Here comes Shinaka Clay, gaining in the Aston Martin. Oh, look at the speed he's got. He's going to go round the outside of Tomek Paragic. What a move that would be. Onto the grass, off the track, into the gravel he goes. Rejoins, and now Stachulek will be all over him, almost pushing him through the exit. Shinaka Clay survives and stays in P3. Oh, that was tasty between Paragic and Clay. Somehow Paragic stays in front. Here comes Stachulek round the outside of Tosa. Can't quite get it done and stays in position. And now Stachulek spins out of contention. Round he goes, and we've lost Pedreño from the race as well in the pit lane. All happening on lap 26.
Oh, it's all kicked off there, and that was a slow burner spin for Stachulek. One of the worst ones you can imagine, where you can't stop the car at all. Those tyres are going to be they're going to be so hot. It's going to be so difficult for him to complete this lap in strong stead. But that eliminates one of the front runners here. Alvaro Carrichon is still trying to find a way into this fight as well. He's 2.5 seconds back. Do not count the Spaniard out in the Williams car. But now surely Shinaka Clay, he's got to find the opportunity on Paragic. He might feel a bit hard done by on what happened on the previous lap, and he's not close at all to the rear of the Alpine car. It's all kicked off here. Carrichon does set the fastest lap of the race. He's 2.5 seconds adrift of the leaders.
Yeah, Carrichon is bringing himself into play while these guys battle absolutely ferociously at the front. Shinaka Clay having to take a trip through the gravel as Parages squeezed him out. Epic stuff, very, very tasty here in the closing laps. Longue, by the way, unable to stretch away on those softs, and maybe towards the end of the race it will tip the scales back in favour of Parages when those soft tyres start to wear out. This is going to be very, very interesting. Let us know in the comment section below, folks. Who do you think will win this race? Will it be Nicholas Longue? Will it be Tomek Parages? Will it be Shinaka Clay? Or can Carrichon bring himself into the mix before the end of the Grand Prix? If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We recently passed 2,000 subs on the WOR channel, so thank you to every single one of you for tuning in tonight and backing up this brilliant league. We're here every single Sunday night at 7 PM for all this drama. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share it, because it is absolutely brilliant stuff. Longue now looks like he's tried to push the throttle pedal down and break clear. He's got it up to a second. Has he made sure that there's no DRS this time for Parages? He has, and now that means he's at prey to Clay, and this time round Clay will get it done well before the corner. There'll be no squeezing out on the gravel this time. Clay is through up into second, and he can now start the pursuit of the race leader, Nicholas Longue.
Easy as Shinaka Clay would have liked it there, as Luke Smith finds a way on Stahalek. So it's all kicking off here. Tomek Parages has just got to keep within DRS range of both these guys. Maybe Shinaka Clay can bring him back into the DRS range of Nicholas Longue, who is beginning to stretch his advantage up the road at the moment, as Primoz Miklavčić gets ahead of Jake Benham, but he does have a penalty to contend with. So we've got to keep on with the leaders here, or possibly Unash Ziltrim, who's closing to the rear of Alvaro Carrichon. You just can't look anywhere in particular. I wish I could have a million monitors on my bedside table or something, just so I could see all the action that's going down. But I think Nicholas Longue, he's really setting into a rhythm here.
Yeah, the man who put it on pole position, now trying to make a sprint for the victory. A sprint to the checker flag here in the second race of the season in WOR. It was Danny Beresney that won the opener. Nicholas Longue at the minute on course to get the victory in the second race, and he's now pumping in a few fastest lap, immediately responded to by Shinaka Clay, who's determined to get his second win of the week, one in PSGL. Can he get one tonight? As here comes Ulas Yildirim in behind Alvaro Carrichon. He's bailing out of the move and going slowly. That's very interesting. He could have easily made that move into the corner, but it's all about the tactics, and he stays in P5 for the minute as Shinaka Clay tries to throw the kitchen sink at the race leader Nicholas Longue. It's a battle between Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin at the front of this race.
Yes, Ferrari power against Mercedes for the final few laps of this Grand Prix run. Lap number 20 line out of 32 with a 1.1 second lead over Shinaka Clay. Nicholas Longue starting this race on the pole. Had a long spell behind Tomek Parages. Just lost a lot of time actually to Shinaka, and possibly he could be under DRS threat as they come out of the Variante chicane. I think Nicholas Longue, he's starting to feel the pressure. Both of these guys as well, just to mention, have got nothing in the battery.
Yeah, he's definitely lost time. He's definitely made a mistake. He's made another mistake in the final corner. It did not look right at all. And yes, he has made another mistake because Shinaka Clay's right on him. He outbroke himself into Ravazza 1, completely missed the apex, and now Shinaka Clay can smell blood on lap 30 out of 32. He's gaining and gaining on the back of the Alfa Romeo into turn 1. For 1 minute, it looked like Nicholas Longue had it all under control. Not anymore. Shinaka Clay is right within range, and he fancies snatching the victory in a few moments' time. Can Longue hold on? Shinaka Clay right back into contention, as is Tomek Parages. This is absolutely astonishing. A triple threat at the front of the race as Shinaka Clay gets a big slide at the rear of his car. Parages is right behind him. He's not finished yet. There's been some history between those two in this race already as the front three sweep through Piratella and now down towards Aqua Minerale. Still Longue in the lead. Shinaka Clay right there, almost shoving him through Aqua Minerale. Up the hill they go. Now then, into the braking zone for the Variante Alta chicane. Can they get it right? Longue under so much pressure at the minute. Shinaka Clay right in the middle of the sandwich with Parages right there, ready to pounce on any mistake from either driver. Alvaro Carrichon has faded out of this. He's now nearly 5 seconds off the back of this group as the front three here in WOR are about to begin the penultimate lap of this race. And Shanaka Clay, is he going to now try and make the move on Longy? Across the line they come. Don't count out Paradis, as here comes Shanaka Clay, looking to make the move and take the lead of this Grand Prix. Is he through? Yes, he is. Paradis is through as well, and up into second place. This is epic, Dan.
Oh, I'm loving this right now at WOR. Tomek Paradis has managed to clear Nicholas Longy as well. Shanaka Clay leads this race as they're coming on to the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. It's been 31 laps of intense battling. A little bit of a lull period at some points in this race, but it was all worth it as Tomek Paradis having to save the car from a spin down at Piratella and through Aqua Minerale. He sees the opportunity. Oh, Shanaka Clay with a slide as well. I think those softs are beginning to fade off as in towards a Variante Alta chicane. Shanaka Clay trying to go slowly, possibly trying to back him up into Nicholas Longy as again a slide from Paradis. And I think Longy, who's got 35% of his battery, could be seizing an opportunity as here they come into Rovazza for the penultimate time in this race. Shanaka Clay leads from Paradis and Longy off the exit of the final corner. DRS will be enabled for Paradis and Longy down the main straight. Here they go. Ring ding ding for the final time. It's lap 32. Paradis looking to make the move. Here comes Longy. 3 up into the corner. This can't end well. Longy with the lead.
Unbelievable. Longy around the outside, saved the battery up, and Shanaka Clay from leading this race is now down to third, and Paradis still fancies his chances. Is he going to go for it? I think he might into Tosa, you know. Paradis, he is going for it into Tosa. Not quite close enough though to make the move on Longy. That would be ridiculous making a move there, and he couldn't quite manage it, and he stays in second place. What a finish to this race we have here. Shanaka Clay had it in the palm of his grasp, but Nicholas Longy picked up the double toe down the straight and overtake both of them into the corner to retake the lead. Lap 32, and it looks like that was the decisive move for Nicholas Longy, but Tomek Paradis ain't giving it up. He needs one good exit from the Variante Alta chicane and a run down to Rovazza 1. What can he do then? Longy's still in front, Paradis gaining and gaining. He's got the slipstream. Is he going to try and send it up the inside into Rovazza 1? No, he won't, and Longy has surely got it done. He's almost pushing him now into the final turn, but Longy looks like he's seen them off. Across the line he comes. What a race. Nicholas Longy wins at Imola in round 2 of the season. What a battle between the front three. Paradis second, Clay in third, Carrichon fourth, and Jonas Geldren completes the top 5. But these three at the front, Dan, have given us an epic. What a race.
Oh my word. What a finish. 3 wide into Tamburello, and I knew that was coming from the moment that Nicholas Longy lost the lead on lap 31 when he did not use any of his overtake to defend the position from Paradis and Clay. He saved up the battery to burn it all down the main straight on lap number 32. That is the smarts and tactics that you have to have when you are at this level, and boy oh boy has it paid off. We've completed Imola, and what a race that was. I think mine and your voice, Andy, they're going to need some recovering in the morning.
Yeah, I think the neighbours will be chapping the door wondering what all the shouting's about. That's how incredible that was. Absolutely epic stuff. Nicholas Longy, we doubted him, and we were wrong to doubt him because he gets the job done. Didn't use the overtake, as you said. Waited for his moment, pounced on the final lap, and he wins for Alfa Romeo. What a victory, what a race we've had here at Imola. Nicholas Longy is the victor, and wow, what a race. Shanaka Clay and Tomek Paradis more than competed as well. Paradis second, Clay in third. The big talking point will be the collision between the moment where Clay was forced wide by Paradis. That will be a talking point, no doubt. But what a race. Nicholas Longy picks up the victory in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, round 2 of the season. Tomek Paradis, he is second. Shanaka Clay third, and Alvaro Carrichon in fourth. Jonas Geldren finished in fifth. Luke Smith sixth, and Piotr Stachulek, who spun out of contention, remember, he was in that battle for the victory, in seventh. Eighth was Simon Vagang, Jeffrey Ritchie ninth, and Liam Parnell picks up a point in 10th. It was a bad day for Jake Benham, nothing for him, he's 11th, with McClavsich in 12th. Jack West 13th, and Tom Martinez finished the race 14th. A lap down was Josh Adowu, and the retirees from the Grand Prix. They were Ruben Pedreño, Kieran Lutt, John Evans, Louis Welsh, and Super Sam Corby, the man that got second last time out. Didn't work out for him tonight, and he finished last of all. But let's have a chat then, Dan. What a race. What a final couple of laps that was. What a battle. 3 wide into turn 1 on the last lap. It doesn't get any better than that here in World Online Racing, does it?
It really does not. And that's what you come here for. Some brilliant racing on a Sunday night whilst you're eating your roast or whatever you have for dinner. You've got all the action here in WOR. My voice is feeling it, and wow, what a race. I really hope we can get some of these drivers in for an interview. Yeah,
it was all a crazy race. It was a crazy weekend, really, here at Imola. We had rain at the start of qualifying. It dried up throughout Q1. It was all about the final lap. Then we had a dry Q2 and back to rain again in Q3. Then the race, it was dry, then it was wet, then it was dry again. It's been, everything has been flung at the drivers in the first 2 rounds of the championship, whether it be the weather or the strategy. And in the end, Nicolas Longuet gets the job done. It was looking for so long like Tomac Paradis had it under control until the track started to dry out. Didn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, it really did shift when the dry conditions came at the end, and I'm still in disbelief at that. And I think the gamble for the softs really did work. And I'd expected them to go off at the end, and certainly we saw that, you know, where they were all sliding about, and, you know, Shinaka Clay almost spun. That Stahalek spun about 5 or 6 laps into his soft stint. So those tires really weren't in great condition, but they made it work at the front.
Yeah, they sure did. It was absolutely incredible. I mean, I just can't get over how good it was. And then it looked like Longuet had it all under control. 1.3 second gap. Looked like he was going to win the race. And then all of a sudden, he started making mistakes. He slid wide, allowed Shinaka Clay back within DRS territory, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it all chopped and changed in the changeable conditions, and I think that is quite fitting that is the case. But yeah, I'm still in disbelief. I'm struggling to get my words out here, Andy. If you can't already tell, I'm trying to see in any of the voice chats if we can please get an interview from any of these guys.
Yeah, well, let's see. I'll move to the driver interview screen just in case we do. But we'd love to talk to some of these drivers because that was absolutely incredible. What a race between the front 3 in particular. They gave us some real drama, and we can't forget, Dan, even when there was a lull at the front earlier on, when the rain spread the field out, we still had some great action down at the back. Louis Welsh and Ruben Pedreño in particular giving us some great action, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, it is really lovely to see as well that, you know, they're in like 15th position and they're still fighting like it's for the win of the race. Especially that battle with Ruben Pedreño and Louis Welch, where Louis Welch, he played him blind almost. You know, I think he set that up a good 4 corners before where he actually made the move. You know, he thought about the move and he played that out in his mind, recreated it. It was absolutely perfect. So it's almost like he's some sort of AI with where he could just predict the future. And he predicted where Pedreño would go. He made the move stick, and that's what I love to see in WOR.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the battling throughout the field, and it is good to see the drivers further down the field having a battle, and it just shows you the strength of WOR, that there's so many drivers and so many fights throughout the field. It doesn't matter if it's for 1st or 14th or 15th, there is always excitement to be had on the racetrack. But well done though to Nicolas Longuet on the victory. Dan, I've got to ask you, there was a few contenders out there. Who's your driver of the day today? I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? Longuet pole, Longuet victory. I'm probably going to go for him.
Yeah, I probably was going to say him as well, but I got to be a contrarian now. You put me in a tough position here.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I kind of have. No. I'm going to go with Tomac Paradis because I still think, give it 1 or 2 more laps, I think those medium tyres would have been in perfect position, and then he would have taken that win. I give it, but you know, those laps weren't there. You know, it was only 32 laps, not 34, and you do have to give all the credit really to Nicolas Longuet on how he performed there.
Yeah, it was a really strong performance from Nicolas Longuet. Yeah, deserving of driver of the day, it has to be said. What did you make of the move then, Dan? Shinaka Clay tried to go round the outside of Tomek Paradzis into turn one. He got that little squeeze. It was almost a la Hamilton and Verstappen. What did you make of that one? Do you think the stewards might look at that? It was certainly a little naughty. Across the gravel went Shinaka, but he managed to fight to live for another day. It was an interesting battle. Maybe one for the stewards, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it is Shinaka's choice if he decides to go there, but I think he was alongside into the braking zone. He got properly squeezed there by Paradzis, so I'd like to see some onboards possibly with Shinaka to see what it looked like from his point of view and also from Paradzis. I know that Tomek is streaming, so I think you could just go back on the VOD and see that, but I'm not too sure about Shinaka. But yeah, if he decides to report that, the stewards are certainly going to be twiddling their thumbs about that one because it's tricky to call, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm just reading the chat here. Everyone really enjoying the race. Everyone says, wow, what a finish. That was absolutely incredible. They're all saying they want Nicholas on the stream. We would love to have him, but he's not here for a chat at the minute, folks. So I think we're going to have to call it with no interviews, which is unfortunately a bit of a shame. Dan, we're gutted about that, aren't we? Because we really wanted to hear from some of the drivers today because it was such an exciting finale. Shinaka Clay leading going on to that final lap. He must be gutted. Did he finish third?
Yeah, I mean, it was really unfortunate that it ended that way for him because he drove a stellar race as well. You know, you can't take any of that away from him. You know, he was right in the lead fight for quite some time at the end of that one, and well, he was right at the back of them. But of course, wasn't meant to be for him. He didn't put himself in that position like Longuet did. He kind of didn't have the foresight, I suppose, of letting everyone through. Maybe if he didn't push onto the back of Longuet, still overtook him without the use of his overtake, maybe he could have been in a different position coming into the at the end of the race. So it's all about the mind games, I'd say.
Yeah, of course, it is all about the mind games. And yeah, what a fantastic race for the second race of the season here in WR. Really enjoyed it, and if you guys enjoyed it back home, then be sure to hit that subscribe button. We went over 2,000 subs now on the WR channel, which is absolutely epic. Great to have such backing on the channel. When the drivers on track are providing us with so much excitement, it's no surprise to see you guys hitting that like and subscribe button. So be sure to do that again, folks, and we hope to see you again for the next race. Be sure to join us every Sunday, 7 PM for the action here at WR. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the drivers in for interview. And if you want to check out myself and Dan, down below you can see our Twitter handles. We'll be posting some clips from the races, both here in WR and PSGL, as we commentate both, and some of the highlights from the Grand Prix. But I'm afraid that's all we've got time for tonight. No driver interviews, but what a fantastic race we had at Imola. It's Nicholas Longuet that takes the victory. Be sure to join us next week. That's all from myself, Andy, and from Dan. Goodbye.
On his debut, Jarno Uppbeat wins at Spa.
It's Martinez in Montreal. David beats Goliath.
It's a true underdog story. John Evans wins at Mexico.
And it's Super Sam Corby who takes the PlayStation Championship.
FRA Ronhard takes his first WOR championship. He is your Xbox champion.
And Jake Benham is a two-time WOR champion.
Dobbin around the outside of Paradzis. Line shadow is contact again. Rodha is around.
Vanity, surely it's going to win here at Abu Dhabi. He does.
16 races across 5 continents. From Brazil to Belgium and Bahrain to Britain. Soon this story starts. Across 3 platforms, hundreds will begin the quest in search of glory and the right to be called a WOR champion. Lights out, and we're racing in Season 12.